Misa Those of us who are here, the bishop is going to bless the meal, and Father Maomi is what to give us here.
Thank you. Let's pray. Father Jehovah God, in the name of Jesus, thank you for this wonderfully blessed day that alumni of Cherangani are meeting for a short fellowship. Thank you too for this meal that is set before us. Father, we pray and ask for your blessings upon it as we partake. In Jesus' name I pray.
Amen. So, please wash your hands. Alafu tunaenda hivi. Yeah, we are starting with seniors. Wakala, kujeni. Wapi, wapel? The spouses. Muziki tumetoka kwa sababu ya maombi.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Dr. Cherangani. I am from Nandi County. I've come to attend the Cherangani Alumni Association retreat. I'm happy to be here because I am the pioneer of Cherangani, which I joined in 1968 in Form 1 and up to Form 4 in 1971. Therefore, being a pioneer, I'm happy to join my fellow alumni who came after us, and I'm meeting people I have not met for the last over 60 years. I have two colleagues who are my classmates, Mr. Jonathan Ayodi and Mr. Peter Wangala. The three of us out of a class of 35 is by God's grace that we are meeting for the first time after so many years. This Alumni Association has been very active in the social media, but we agreed to meet physically so that we are able to have enough time, exchange pleasantries and memories of our former school. Cherangani Secondary School is the first government school in Trans Nzoia, established in 1968. Before that time, we had only two other secondary schools, that is Trans Nzoia Secondary School of the former Senator William Wamalwa, and there was one by an Indian. It was called Kennedy High School. So Cherangani, therefore, being the first government school in Trans Nzoia, brought in many other students from primary schools around. So today we are here to talk about our experiences and also to exchange our achievements in life after school. Many people went away, became teachers, engineers, doctors, pastors, and so forth. In my case, I became a librarian for so many years and retired from Moi University. Thank you.
I like that.
Iko sawa eh? Si, hakuna mastori mingi. Sio
Kidogo tuacha nione kama naweza uliza wewe swali moja. Labda kwa ile wakati ulikuwa kwa shule. Kuna kitu unaweza kukumbuka?
Nakumbuka kazi ngumu.
Si useme, nataka uongee kuhusu life ya shule vile mlikuwa mnasoma.
Na
hiyo
acha niseme hiyo.
Usungumuse kidogo shule ilikuwaje. So that people can also know mlitoka wapi. Just a moment kidogo.
Okay, Cherangani Secondary School, being the first government school, began as a day school with about 25 students. And being a day school, there were no buildings except two temporary ones. There was no water, no food, no road, no toilets, no nothing. So we had a challenge of, first of all, waiting for temporary classrooms to be finished because they were made of mud and iron sheets. They started Harambe boarding, though some of us became boarders up to the fourth year. Now, being a new school with no road, no signposts, no water, no food, no teachers, we had only two teachers, the headmaster and one other teacher and one member of staff who was the bursar and the clerk at the same time. There was no compound, no fence, no nothing. So really it was a school that never existed, but we had to persevere and start a school from somewhere. And I'm happy to say that when we did our Form 4 exam, we set a record that stayed 10 years without being broken. So despite the challenges, the problems, and so forth, we managed to succeed. Even the teachers did not have staff houses. Some lived in the villages. Others even constructed their own houses in the school compound. I remember teacher William Boruet had to construct his own house for his own family. So really it is a school that succeeded through endurance and resilience.
Hey.
Shule haina, hakuna shule.
Haikuwa na kitu. Ndio unajua, if I look at the school right now, the way it is, mpaka inanifanya nicheke, nasema kumbe.
Lakini unaijua?
Si nimetoka huko. Nimetoka huko asubuhi, nilikuwa nafikiri mkutano iko huko. Alafu nimetumiwa picha, I am looking, I have the photos here ya hiyo.
Sasa wewe imagine unaitwa shule na barua. Unaenda kwa shule haujui shule iko wapi. Kulikuwa na nyumba imewekwa matope. Ndio wakaweka mesa chini ya miti. Ndio wanaregister students chini ya miti.
Very smart story. Umesikia mambo ya shule? Anafanya nianze kucheka bwana. Shule kumbe ilikuwa nyumba ya matope. Na walikuwa na mwalimu mmoja tu. So uta introduce yourself, wewe ulikuwa kwa hiyo shule mwaka gani? Shughuli ya leo, labda kama kuna jambo unaweza comment kuhusu shughuli ya leo.
Okay.
Na zaidi ya hivyo, I also think it is good to appreciate those who have organized this.
I think so.
Na zaidi ya hivyo muwe mkiendelea. Na on top of that, maybe shule ilikuwa namna gani, wewe ulisoma ilikuwa namna gani. Na last and not the least, anybody that you have met hamjawahi kutana kwa sababu ya hii shughuli imefanya nyinyi mkutane. You can also talk about it. This one you can just hold like that. Kidogo tu.
My name is Peter Wangala. Niliingia shule ya Cherangani as a pioneer in 1968. My admission number was 7 in the school. So sisi ndio tulianzisha, ndio watu wengine wakaja. Just as it has been said, we did not have classrooms, even no dormitories. We were staying in just an old building which was a museum. So they converted it into a dormitory. Tunalala sakafuni tu, so long as we had a small mattress. Actually, tulikuwa na shida sana because we did not have even teachers. We had only a head teacher, Mr. Mbudhia, na mwalimu mmoja, na basa account clerk, ambaye pia alikuwa anakuja kutufunza kwa sababu tukikosa mwalimu anakuja kutufunza. Na tukafanikiwa kwa sababu sisi zote tulifanikiwa, na ingawa wengi wetu wameenda kwa Mwenyezi Mungu, lakini sisi ambao tuko, ninashukuru tulifaulu wote. That is the good thing about it. First class in the school na tukafaulu wote. Sasa sisi hatukujua kitu kama monolism, ati watu hatukuwa na mwingine mbele yetu. Sisi ndio tulimonolize wenye walikuja na wako hapa hata wanasema. Kitu ambacho ningesema kuhusu siku ya leo, ninashukuru sana na nawapongeza wale viongozi wetu ambao wamejaribu kutusaidia mpaka tukakuja pamoja. Mimi binafsi nimemaliza over 50 years bila kukutana na wengine, na tumekutana. Nimefurahi sana kukutana nao, hata nikashangaa, lakini uzuri they still have very sharp memories kwa sababu bado tunajuana. Lakini la muhimu sana, tungependa hii retreats ziwe zinakuja kila mwaka, tuwe na an annual event, so that tunakutana na tuna develop hata wale wengine ambao walikuja nyuma, na hata vijana wenye watakuja, tuwe na hiyo kama culture ya hiyo shule, kwa sababu sisi tukiwa viongozi ambao tulianzisha hiyo shule, tungependa iendelee. Asanteni sana, nawashukuru sana na nawatakia mema wale ambao walituleta pamoja.
Unanifurahisha. Unanifurahisha sana. Nani mwingine? Mimi sikujua shule inaweza kuwa ilikuwa namna hiyo. Kulingana na St.Mark mimi vile naionanga. Tunaijua sisi ni shule kubwa sana. Shule ya maana sana. Kumbe ilitoka mahali.
Utasema tu hata tulikuwa about 27 or 28 peke yake.
Kwa hiyo shule?
Yes.
We started very few. Lakini si wameongea. Do I really need to?
But there's something that you can remember about the school.
I have remembered something.
These are teachers. So teachers wana. Mimi sikuwa teacher.
Maybe you can tell us how was today's event. Do you think it is a good idea for you to be meeting? Now from there, have you met anybody mwenye hamujawahi kutana imemfanya mkutana naye kwa siku ya leo? Kitu kama hiyo maybe utie mkazo ya kwamba ni vizuri mlikuwa mkikutana mara kwa mara. At least hiyo kujuana hiyo labda iko na usaidizi yake na tena you also exchange ideas. You see, today you have interacted so much, maybe kuna mtu umejuana naye hata mkuu umemjua, na zaidi ya hivyo kuna mtu labda vile umemjua mnaweza hata kutana siku nyingine, na labda wakati tangu ufunge utoke shule hujawahi kutana naye. This was your first time. It's very interesting.
Very interesting.
Shika hii. Nishikie tu. Kidogo.
Tunaangalia ndani ya kamera ama chini yake. Okay. My name is Jonathan Ayodi. A pioneer of Cherangani Secondary School, which is now known as St.Mark Secondary School. I joined in 1969 and left in 1971. Then I proceeded to Nairobi, where I went and joined Kenya Polytechnic. From there, I joined a private company known as Coates Brothers. I proceeded to UK for some training, came back and proceeded working. I'm a married person with a family, retired from work, but I'm now doing my own business, running Pazuri Hotel, which is located in Tale. Now at St.Mark's, which of course was Cherangani Secondary School, we learned a lot as pioneers to have resilience in our life, and this is what has actually made some of us be what we are. This particular occasion, I'm so grateful about it, and I was actually having a main player to it, having in the committee of preparing this, and this day has climaxed to what actually we looked forward to. I've been able to meet my former classmates and even those who came after us, and it is a great pleasure even in meeting people who have just left school most recently as 2015. Some of them, we shall support them in ideas how to move on. They are in business, to move on in business. Others who have interacted is a much more pleasure because some of them we have never met in 50 years and more. But it's a pleasure that I'm grateful that we now have picked up and shall continue having this event. Possibly every year we will be celebrating. That's all I can say for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you too for this.
Tena hata nimekujua wewe ndio mwenye Pazuri.
Yes.
Wow, a great job. Great job. You are
Thank you very much.
Perfect bwana.
Yeah.
Mimi napaonanga nimekuja hapo, kuna wakati nimekuwa kwa hiyo mabari Pazuri. Kuna pastors walikuwa wamekuja hapo.
Yes.
Walikuwa na pastor anajiita Yesu anaweza.
Yes.
Wanatoka hapo ndio wafanye ordination.
Yes.
That was my first time I came there.
Wow. Wow.
Nani,
Wow.
you have done marvelous.
No, we are still struggling. It's a journey. It's a journey.
You're doing good.
It's a journey.
Exactly. You are doing perfect. Sasa nimekujua. I'll visit
Actually,
you.
that's why this meeting is very important. Ninawajua pia.
Hata hao watu wamejua penye wanajua penye.
Kabisa.
Next time mtu anakuja anakutafuta.
Basi. Asante.
Exactly.
Good. Yes.
Umepata watu watatu. Umetosha. Nilitaka even ladies hawa ni wake zao kama
Okay. Kwa sasa vile tunaanza mkutano, you continue live streaming. Alafu hiyo ingine itakuja baadaye. Kwa tunaanza mkutano.
Okay. Alafu kwa sababu network inasumbua, kuna link nyingine tena nimekutumia. Usikose kutuma forward tu.
Oh, okay.
Forward tu.
Yeah, okay.
Ni network kuna wakati ilikuwa inapotea. So forward tu.
AUX mode.
Uende ulete tena stand nyingine.
Kujitambulisha kama wanachera. Hivyo ni sawasawa members? Wacha twende hivyo. So kwa ufupi zote nafikiri tunaweza imba wimbo wa taifa kwa kusimama na mmoja wetu anaweza kutuongoza. Asante. Mungu tufu yetu, ilete baraka kwetu, haki ngao na mlinzi, tukae kwa Mungu, amani na uhuru, raha tupate na ustawi. Thank you. One stanza, thank you. Team player ambayo tulikuwa tumepea anthem ya Chera. Alafu tupate maombi. Nikuletee microphone ama utaimba tu? Haya. Acha nikupee microphone.
Headmaster wetu ameenda kita kununua matumbo, ham ham na sisi wa mono, ham ham takula mafupa, ham ham. Headmaster wetu ameenda kita kununua matumbo, ham ham na sisi wa mono, ham ham takula mafupa, ham ham. Who is a mono? A mono is a demonstrated being suffering from inferiority complex, not fit to be the basics, not fit to be in Chera. And why are you here?
Thank you very much. Bishop, kindly. Kuja huku, Bishop, kindly. Bishop Bwana Kimayo, karibu sana kwa jukwaa. Unaweza zunguka tu. God has given us the grace that tuko na wachungaji katika nyumba hii. Tumebarikiwa sana. Mabishop tuko nao, mapasta wako na watu kadhaa. Kwa hivyo acha nipewe mchungaji atuelekeze kwa ili tuendelee na sherehe.
May I request all of us to stand as we pray. Father, Lord, Jehovah God, in the name of Jesus, we come before you. Lord, I present this group, the Cherangani Alumni, and God, the whole of this day. God, we have gathered here to fellowship after a long, long time. Father, we have got a lot of things to share, a lot of testimonies, a lot of experiences to exchange. And God, as we fellowship, we welcome your presence to be with us. Guide us from the very beginning up to the end. Lord, give us wisdom and direction as we deliberate and plan things for us, for our future. God, we thank you for the organization, the organizers, the people who undertook to organize this particular retreat. Father, continue giving them wisdom, long life and health. And God, the members, and some of them are still traveling, coming. Lord, we pray for their safety. And God, as we start, let us begin with you and end with you. And in Jesus' name I prayed.
Amen. You can continue now. Oh, small session. Go now, go.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to be with you today in this wonderful retreat. I thank God for giving us an opportunity to meet after a long, long time. My names are Apostle Dr. John Kimayo, born again, I love Jesus. I was a mono in 1977 and left the school in 1980. When I joined the school, I was as big as the way I am today. Because being a Nandi, I had gone back to mzungu fulani anaitwa Jarvis pale Cherangani kuchunga ng'ombe 1968. And later on nikaenda shule. Na wakati huo nilikuwa nimepashwa tohara. So by the time mimi nafika secondary school nilikuwa mzee. Na nilipofika kule wale walikuwa wamenitangulia mbele walishangaa kuniona wakasema, "Hey, what they used to ask was, which bush do you come from?" And they nicknamed me Man Mountain because of my size. And I really suffered at the hands of those guys. Chair, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to demonstrate a bit of whatever I went through. One guy was somehow small, and he called me, say, "Mono," and you know, we used to answer, "Kibwe." "Mono," Kibwe. So I went there. It was during that time of roll call. He said, "I want to talk to you, but I can't talk to you with that height, so you must come to my size." Ladies and gentlemen, Kimayo nijilete kwa size yake. I went down up to his size. And you know, he crossed his hands, say, "Yes, which bush do you come from? What is the name of your dog? Jamaa anaanza kupiga story na mimi bwana nimechuchumaa huko naumia. Tena akaniambia no, start jumping. So I started jumping, you know. Gravity, my friend. Ukiruka si unarudi chini. Ananiuliza, wewe, nimekuambia ruka. Nani amekwambia rudi? So you go back. Well, after some time, I got involved in a very serious bad group of smokers. Nilikuwa mfutaji wa sigara mbaya sana. Mpaka jina langu likabadilisha sasa from being Man Mountain, nikaitwa Tobacco. After that, kidnapper, mwenye alikuwa na kidnap watoto na alikuwa anafuta sigara all the time. If you want to trace him, unafanya tu, kusikia harufu ya sigara unajua ako around. So if you wanted to trace Kimayo by then, all you needed to do was to do what? Inua mapua yako, utapata Kimayo. After some time, God gave me ile huruma yake. Mimi nikaokoka nikiwa form 1. Na siku hiyo ilikuwa naenda maili 8 kununua sigara. Barefooted na matope, sijaoga, nywele unkempt. Niliporudi nikutana na mhubiri, kakutana naye, kanaambia unaenda wapi? Kamwambia natembea. Rudi kidogo tusikie neno la Mungu ndio uondoke. That was the end of it. He preached. I don't know what captured me. I just found myself in front, weeping and crying. And that was the end of my smoking and drinking. To date, I stand before you as a witness that God has kept me. I left Cherangani in 1980. I went to Kerio Valley Mining Company, looking for a part-time job. Nikapewa kazi kuwa karani. Baada ya miaka kidogo nikarealize hakuna promotion hapa, unabaki karani. I opted to join engineering. I went for engineering. Nikapelekwa Polytechnic. Mimi nikarudi first year. Nikaambia you go to Nairobi Polytechnic. Nikasoma miaka mitatu, nikagraduate na first class. Nikarudi sasa nikapewa promotion, nikakuwa mtu mkubwa. But years as they went by, the call of God was weighing down on my shoulders. I went back to full-time ministry. And up to date, I'm preaching the gospel. In the meantime, in the ministry, God gave me an opportunity to join theological colleges and to pursue theology. And now as I stand before you, I'm not being proud, but just for the record, I hold 2 doctorates in theology. May I thank Mr. Wabuge, who decided to come and visit me in my home, and to give me this opportunity that I may share my testimony and a short word. Please, I know you have Bibles in your phones. Can we turn to the book of Psalms, chapter 24, verses 3. I've been given a very short time, and I thank God for that opportunity. Psalms 24 verses 3 and 4. And I read from the King James Version. The Bible says, "Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that has clean hands and a pure heart, who has not lifted his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully. And may the Lord bless his word. Wapendwa, wacha niongee nikichanganya lugha. Being a Christian, we preach the gospel of salvation. When we preach, leading people to Jesus. And we have a hope that we deliver to these people. That Jesus is about to come back and to rapture the church and to take his people with him. That is the hope that has kept Christians going for many years. Although many people, they are giving up. They are saying we have waited for more than 2,000 years. He has not returned. But let me tell you, God will never change. Yesu bado atarudi. According to John chapter 14 verse 6, tazama naenda kuandalia mahali, nitarudi tena na nitawachukua niwapeleke ili nilipo mimi ni nanyi muwepo. I'm just trying to quote. So your hope and my hope is that Jesus is coming back, and one day we shall go with him. But the question the psalmist has asked us today, who shall ascend? Chukua hiyo picha. Mswahili kama angesomea angepata kwamba ni nani atakayepanda katika mlima mtakatifu wa Mungu? Ni nani atakayesimama katika mahali pake patakatifu? Wapendwa, mbingu hii, not everybody will go there. But there are those people that God has prepared. There is this song people love singing, and it goes like this. Nikimaliza kazi nitavalishwa taji, nikimaliza nitavalishwa. Oh, nikimaliza kazi nitavalishwa nini? So all of us, there's something we are doing. And the psalmist has asked, who shall ascend? And then verses 4, he gave the answer. He who has clean hands. Mikono misafi, sio? Ndugu naambie, dada naambie, mikono
Niliitaya 2014. Kwa sasa niko nyumbani. Nyumbani ni Belgrade. Na nashukuru kwa kukutana nanyi nyote.
Asante Bwana Rufus, hiyo ni maeneo yake ni hapo Surungai, tutakuja kutembea, asante. Lakini yeye ni wa 71 si wa hii group, lakini ameongea mbele, tunashukuru.
Nimemwangalia. Hamjambo? Au sitoharakishe. Tuko hapa leo mpaka saa 6 usiku. Official. Paka chini. Kumbe niko kwa planning. Hamjambo tena? Naitwa Grace Verunga. Huyu ambaye mmemwona sana kwa mitandao kila mahali. Ndio huyu basi. Hiyo class ya 74-77. Na nilimaliza nikiwa deputy head girl. Yes. Nilikuwa deputy head girl. From there nikaenda Bunyore Girls, where I was now the head girl. Then nikawa mwalimu, nikafunza kama karigo ako. Toka kama karigo nikaingia pia ofisi, nikatoka kama inspector of schools, na from there nikaenda Ministry of Youth Development Officer Nairobi. Nikatoka nikaja Trans Nzoia when they started counties. So I came to Trans Nzoia County That is where I have been, and that is where I am. Simbariki. Asante.
Basi asante madam. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Mungu yu mwema. Salamia mwenzako, naona wengine wamekasirika kidogo. Salamia mwenzako tu hivi.
We are enjoying.
Asante sana. Naitwa Morris Wekesa. Morris Wekesa ni group hii 74-77, na nilipomaliza shule 77 nikaajiriwa kama mwalimu UT kidogo, alafu baadaye nikaenda college ya Madam Gladys Karanja ile inaitwa Kagumo huko Nyeri. Nilikuwa sijawahi kufika Central Province kwa hizo, nikaanza kuona vile watu wanaishi vizuri huko kuliko upande huu. Sio ni ukweli? Huko wako juu kidogo. Haya, baada ya hapo kidogo nikaenda college, baada ya college nikarudi nikakuja Trans Nzoia. Kwanza tulikuwa tumekuwa posted West Pokot, lakini ilifika mahali president wakati huo mmoja akasema mrudi kwenu, tukarudi na Trans Nzoia. Tuliporudi Trans Nzoia tukangangana kabisa. Ikawa bahati, kumbe nikusaidia mwenzako. Kuna hapa huyu mzee huyu, simama kidogo mkuu. Huyu mzee alikuanga hiyo siku zetu. Sikujua hata alisomea Cherangani, kumbe ni mtu akatusaidia kabisa kutupea mwelekeo wa kufanya kazi kabisa. Hivyo nikaenda juu hivyo mpaka baadaye nikaenda kwa ofisi baada ya kufanya mitihani mingine ya A level private, hata diploma private. Baadaye nikaenda ofisi. Kumbe ndio tuambie watoto wetu waweke bidii na wapate makaratasi, si ndio? Wapate makaratasi. Ukiwa na karatasi hakuna mwenye anasimama mbele yako. Siku hizo Trans Nzoia ungeenda juu kama huna makaratasi, mpaka pengine utumie njia zingine, lakini kwa sababu makaratasi tukaenda hivyo. Alafu baadaye pia nikapata Madam Gladys. Naye pia kanishika mkono, akawa ameenda kabisa kwa ofisi sasa. Unaona vile mambo yanaenda. Mwishowe tukawa kwa ofisi pamoja mpaka nilipomaliza vizuri. Na kila ambacho ningependa kuwaachia ni kwa mambo ya elimu. Kuna mambo ya CBC. Sikila mtu haka anasikia mambo hayo. CBC imetusumbua sana tukiwa kwa ofisi. Kwa sababu naambiwa leo hii, kesho tena pengine hii haijashika laini vizuri. Lakini sisi tukiwa na watoto tuwahimize wajaribu vile wanaweza kufanya. Kwa sababu lazima wafanye. Na si ngumu sana pia, kwa sababu ni kazi ya mikono. Na wakati wanasema kuna 3 pathways. Kuna ile ya science inaitwa STEM, kuna ile nyingine inaitwa social sciences, alafu kuna nyingine ya sports. Kwa hivyo ni vizuri kuambia mtoto akafanye zote tu, akangane tu, kwa sababu haijulikani mahali atamalizia. Tuko pamoja. Kwa hivyo nawatakia mema, nashukuru kukutana nyinyi leo. Hii group tulikuwa tukipambana sana. Kwanza yule wa mwisho huyu akiona pamoja mpaka sasa kwingine mimi pia niwe. Tulikuwa tukipambana kabisa, hata huyu. Tukumbuka tulikuwa tukisumbuana kabisa. Lakini kumbe ilikuwa vizuri kupishana. Bwana Sabwani. Asante bwana.
Jambo yote. Tumsifu Yesu Kristo. Kwa majina naitwa Johnston Sabwani. Mimi najivunia kwa sababu Cherangani ilikuwa kama family school. Wakati naingia form 1 1974, my brother ambaye namfuata alikuwa form 3, Joseph Stuma. Namfuata kwa mgongo. Wakati mimi natoka 1977, ndugu yangu ambaye namfuata akaingia pia Cherangani, Tom Stuma. Huenda kuna watu ambao wamesoma na Tom au Stuma. So Cherangani ilikuwa kama shule ya familia. Ilitukuza vizuri. Mimi nilijoin walimu na nikaretire kama mwalimu 2018. Asanteni.
Bwana asifiwe. Majina yangu naitwa Mary Nafla. Tukiwa Cherangani walikuwa kimba Mary Nafla, Mary Nafla. Oh, Mary Nafla. Asante. 74, 77. Tukiwa West. Tulikuwa tunakaa na hawa wasichana. Wakijua tu huyo akitoka ndani amepepa mkarango tepe msimu. Hii nasema tu asanteni kwa kuintroduce huyu mkutano. Pia nikawaona watu wenye nilikuwa nimesahau 49 years ago, tuliachana kitambo. Nimefurahia kuniita nikakutana na nyinyi. Na huyo Msuya ndiye aliona tu huyu asiende mbali. Nilipotoka tu Cherangani akaambia ndugu yake, chukua huyu msichana asiende mbali utamkosa. Sasa akanichukua nikakuwa tu business lady huko Ndalu, lakini bahati mbaya rafiki yangu akaniwacha, lakini naendelea na maisha kama mkulima tena mfanyabiashara. Ukipita Ndalu nasema tu karibu. Asanteni.
Mary Nafula.
Yes, hamjamboni wote. Bwana asifiwe. Naitwa Cherangani na nimeokoka, nampenda Yesu, na mimi hiyo miaka ambao wao wanasema, na mimi nataka kusema ya kwamba mimi nilipotoka shule sikuenda form 5, hata sikuwa na za kunipeleka kwa sababu sikufanya vizuri sana. Lakini hata hivyo, hata kama ningepita singeenda kwa sababu kwetu tulikuwa wengi. I was number 1 ambao nilikuwa nimefuata na 13 other children, so lazima tungepeana nafasi wengine wakuje, because after I left there also my brother came, alikuwa anaitwa Amos Maina, lakini alipass, alikuwa 79-81. Sasa mimi nilipotoka Cherangani, unajua hata nasijua niseme nini kwa sababu nasikia watu hapo wanasema vile wameenda, hata utaki hata kuzika maiko. Unajua badala kujisema na kusema ukweli. Mimi nilipotoka Cherangani nilienda Eldoret na nikaandikwa na Ministry of Education na School Milk Program kama karani. Na tu kuendelea, si kuenda hata form 6 ama wapi ama college hakuna. Unajua karani ya serikali yananga certificate. Nani amewahi karamanya kazi ya karani ya serikali hapa? Hakunanga certificate. Certificate ni Kenya Gazette ukifanya proficiency upite. Ulikuwa unaenda library unatafuta hiyo Kenya Gazette, unatoa photocopy, hiyo ndio certificate yako. Na nataka kusema ya kwamba it doesn't make you lesser you. Bwana asifiwe. Si ndio mimi huyu? Mkiniangalia hivi ni kama niko less kidogo. Hata kwa wale si mnaonanga ni Kongo tu kidogo. Kwa hivyo that is me and I am happy na ninashukuru Mungu. Nashukuru Mungu kwa sababu ameniweka vile ameniweka na nimefurahi kuwaona. Mimi nilifika tu hapo form 4 sikuendelea. Nikafanya kazi na Ministry of Education for many years as a clerical officer. Na sisi clerical officers ni hatari sana. Bwana asifiwe. Sisi tunaitwa the jack of all trades and master of none. Ndio angekuja kwa ofisi, si ndio tunamuonesha how to sign off a file. Ajui akitoka kwa class ati amekuja ati sasa ni dio. Anatuambia I'll hire and fire, tunamwambia utujui utatuona. Sisi ndio tulikuwa tunafundisha kazi. Na ninashukuru Mungu, I worked as a clerical officer for 38 years, and then I retired and I'm happy. Married to one man, Mr. Peter Mugo, who is my husband, and I'm a mother of 5 girls. Grandchildren siwezi kuambia kwa sababu is a number of them.
Thank you Joyce. Lakini ukikuwa ulikuwa na wachera pia unatuambia yako. Usihepe tu. Mtu wachera mpaka tuseme hapa.
Bwana asifiwe. Hii ni wa mtu wa 74 kina Grace. Grace ulikumbuki? Yes, I'm just Nafula, 74 to 77. Mimi mkaaji wa Trans Nzoia, nimekuwa mwalimu two counties. Two counties, nilianza Trans Nzoia, nikaenda Bungoma, tena nimerudi Trans Nzoia nikaretire. So, nimeretire 2020 after teaching for 3 years. I'm a widow na niko na watoto 6 ambao walimaliza shule. Niko na wajukuu. I've brought you the youngest alumni. Wacha wasalamie na aseme jina yake. 2024.
Hajatompea nafasi yeye ni member.
Okay.
Tompea nafasi yake.
Sawa.
Wacha tutapea nafasi wakati yake.
Sawa. Thank you. Nimeokoka, Kristo ni Bwana. Maisha ina ups and down, but we have through Christ tumeshinda majaribio na problems, but we overcome them. We thank God that we are still alive, we can meet, and I'm so happy. Nimeona wengi tunajuana. Ninaonanga tu kwa picha, najua huyu namjua. Kama kina Ochuma, so many years. Almost 50 years. And you can recall somebody so good. So I thank the organizers. Nashukuru kwa hiyo kazi kujuana tena, kwa sababu wengi wamepass, na sisi tunamshukuru Mungu kwa sababu ya Sierra Life. Thank you so much.
Bwana asifiwe. Kwa majina naitwa Victor wa Flowers K. Most of you will not remember me, and I know why. I was the smallest boy in my class. My friend who was equally small was Nasongo Constant. Where is him? It's not attending.
But he's a neighbor.
It's a neighbor. So there were two small boys in Form 4, 1974 to 77. I remember when I joined Form 1 in Stoneham. Tulikuwa na hiyo double decker. Nakumbuka wenye walikaa Stoneham. Profesa Kahiga alikuwa analala chini ya kitanda hapo. Mimi ndio nilikuwa mono yake. He protected me actually from Mlenje. Unakumbuka Mlenje? So from 77 tukafunza na Grace UT. Unakumbuka Grace? We were employed here in Trans Nzoia as UT after Form 4. Nikaenda kufundisha Masaba Primary School. When the results came, but before that, my brother had been in Cherangani at Toka 1972. Alikuwa anaitwa Eliud Waske Musungu. Some of you may remember him. Was your classmate? Yes, so Eliud Waske Musungu was my eldest brother who went to Cherangani. Then I followed him there. 1977, after Cherangani, I went to Maseno School. Again, a younger brother of mine had go to Maseno Form 1. So I went to there in Form 6. Sasa nikatoka Maseno, nikapatiwa scholarship inaitwa ICCR kwenda India kusoma agriculture. So I did a 4-year degree in agriculture in a place called Rajendranagar. I remember Rajendranagar. Is Jairus here?
No, he's not.
Jairus came to see me. Now, Jairus came to see me. This is a secret, doesn't even know. He came to see me and he came with an album. Sasa alikuwa anaonyesha huyu ni dada yangu, huyu cousin yangu. Kata naenda kwa choo nachukua album yake naangalia. Then he made a nice mistake. He sent me to the same cousin working in Mount Elgon Hospital. Enda salimia yeye. He didn't know he was handing. But she's not here. So anyway, nilipotoka India 1985 nikakuwa posted Kisii as a researcher. Kuna Kenya Agriculture Research Institute. Nikafanya Kisii miaka 2 nafikiri. Nikapatiwa scholarship ingine nikaenda Marekani, University of Nebraska. Kafanya masters, nikarudi nikafanya na shirika inaitwa GTZ kati hiyo. Mpaka 1998 nikarudi Kari. Alafu nilipokuja Karo nimestaafu 2 years ago. Nilikuwa na manage Genbank Musoya. I was managing the Genetic Resources Research Institute. Yeah, until 2 years ago when I retired into private practice. But in private practice I teach farmers modern agriculture skills. Alafu pia kidogo nafundisha wanafunzi hapo Egerton University, ambapo nimejenga nyumba na kuishi pale. Sasa mimi si mkaaji wa Trans Nzoia tena, mimi ni mkaaji wa Nakuru County, and I do some teaching in Egerton, some graduate students. Nimefurahi sana. I'm sorry I came late. I really wanted to meet. Where is Estambul?
Yeah.
Where? This is Estambul.
The neighbor wa Nasongo.
Ni mimi.
Huyo
Ni mimi.
My brother used to talk so much about Estambul and Murambiji Bwakale. So those were his two friends. Eliud Waske Musungu. I never met you, but I followed you quite closely in Nairobi when you had a clinic. Now I'm meeting the first.
Later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Victor. A clap, a round of applause. 75, kindly mkuje haraka haraka. 75. Alafu tumalizie na wale wa nyuma, alafu tukuje kwa seniors wamalizie sisi. Hao watakuwa na nafasi ya kuongea kitu kidogo. Dr. Tanui ataongoza hicho kikosi akitumalizia hiyo sehemu ya introduction. Bwana Gadi Angulu.
Mjambo la ndugu. Bwana asifiwe. Mimi naitwa Gadi Angulu Tamba. Wakini wenye nafanya nayo kazi wananiita Tamba Gadi. Nilikuwa Cherangani kuanzia 75 up to 78. When I sat for the exam in 1978, my results were very funny. I had 18 points. I was supposed to be first division, but I had failed English and Kiswahili, so I was given third division. When I went to check the results, the teachers called me and told me, just go to the school where you applied for A level. They will take you. So I went to St. Mary's Yala, and they said, we shall take you, even if they don't take you from Nairobi. These results are good, because I done very well in science. So they admitted me there to take math, chemistry, and physics. But while at Cherangani, I was a very good boy, but you see, this is a small school. Kufika huko nikajifanya nachukua math, physics, chemistry. Kumbe hiyo vitu kali bwana. Lakini tuling'ang'ana. Tukang'ang'ana huko, physics nikai-drop. Kachukua chemistry and math. Kafanya A-level 1980. I had 7 points, just the boundary of going to university and not going. So I was admitted at Kenyatta University College to take Bachelor of Education, Chemistry and Maths. Tukang'ang'ana huko, unajua college is easier than school. Huko ukienda trip kidogo, marks. Assignment kidogo, marks. Sasa by the time you reach exam, you have umezoa marks almost yote. Tukafaulu 1985. I started teaching at Nzoia Secondary School here. Taught there, made a deputy and demoted. I think they said that this man is a bachelor. And he is now a deputy of a mixed school. Let's sack him. So when they sacked me, I picked one of their daughters and disappeared with her.
No wonder. No wonder. No wonder.
When I went to Kamsinga Boys, where not a student, please, in the village. Not a student, but the village. Then I went to Kamsinga, taught there for 4 years, chemistry and math. Went to Sipala Secondary School, taught there. Teremi Boys, Hamisi School called Munzati. Then was promoted to principal and brought to Mataka Secondary School, where I spent 8 years, and I retired 2018 as the principal of Mataka Secondary School. Senior principal, job group Q.
Now that's better.
Then, so that is, I retired 2018. At Cherangani, those who knew me, sikuzungumzanga na wasichana. Mimi nitakulanga tu hesabu. Ama nini bwana? Ama nini madam? Nikulanga tu hesabu. Once I calculate math, I'm satisfied. So sikupua huko na mtu. But I married the way I told you. I have 2 sons, 3 daughters, 2 granddaughters, and 1 grandson.
Thank you, sir.
So I'm happy to be with you here. I never knew we shall meet, but God bless you. That school of ours was very strong, because anybody who left that school had determination. Me, have been a great teacher because of that school. Thank you very much.
Hamjambo wote. Kwa majina ni John Ojuma. Niliingia Cherangani mwaka huo wa 75 hadi 78. Admission number 628. Na baada ya kukamilisha mtihani wa kidato hicho cha 4, majira hayo ilikuwa ni wakati ambapo Rais Moi alikuwa ameshika usukani, na mwaka huu wa kufuata 79 ikawa ni kwamba alikuwa ametangaza kuwe na 10% employment in all ministries and companies. Basi na sisi haraka tukakimbia kwa labor, tukapewa hizo cards, na mimi nikafanikiwa kupata kibarua, na nikafanya kibarua hicho kule Eldoret. Na wakati huo nilikuwa nimeapply teaching, na kidogo nikapata barua ya kuniingiza katika teaching na nikakuwa posted kule Kakamega. Nikaenda mwaka huo wa 79 na nikapewa shule Koyonzo Primary ambako niliingia nikafunza kidogo, na kwa sababu ya misukosuko wakati huo wa watu wanaitwa Msumbiji, one of our staff members alivamiwa akadungwa visu, na sisi tukaona hapana, hapa pakaliki tena. Sisi mbio kwa DEO na akatupatia matransfer. Mimi nikaletwa hapa Likuyani Soi, ambako nilifunza kwa kipindi cha miaka kama 3 hivi, kisha nikaenda chuo Machakos. Pale Soi niliwahi kufundisha a very tiny girl in our class called Rachel. Our current first lady was my pupil at Likuyani Primary. And because of protocols and you know that position, you cannot be able to meet her, you cannot just reach her easily. Sasa hivyo ndivyo tumeenda, hatujulikani, lakini niliwahi kumfundisha kule. Nilipotoka hapo nikaenda Machakos, na kutoka Machakos nikaja Trans Nzoia. Nimefunza shule kadhaa hapa kabla ya kustaafu. Na pia nataka naona kuna wale ambao wameshukuru wakubwa wao, pia mimi nataka kushukuru wakubwa wangu hapa ambao kumbe tulisoma nao. Morris na Bwana Peter Wangala walikuwa wasimamizi wangu hapa Trans Nzoia kabla ya mimi kustaafu. Asanteni.
Thank you.
Hamjambo wote. Kwa majina naitwa Veronica Chege. Veronica Chege. Nilikuwa first student wa 1975. Namba yangu ilikuwa 621. Nikatoka 1975. After that, nikaenda Siriba Teachers Training College. Nikamaliza, nikafunza kidogo hapa Kitale. Then I went to Laikipia University. Nikamaliza, nikarudi Kitale, nikafunza. Na sasa nimeretire. Sorry. Nimeretire 2019. Nimefanya kazi kidogo, tumesaidiana katika Alumni. Na hapo ndio tumefika. Asanteni sana.
Thank you.
Mjamboni wote. Nami kwa majina ni Fred Wafra, na huku nilikuwa najulikana kama Mkangala. Nafikiri kwa hiyo miaka 75 to 78 si kufanya vitu kwa nyingi sana. Nilikuwa tu mpole kwa muda mrefu sana, lakini sio mpole vile sana. Na nakumbuka nilitoka huko bila kutongoza msichana huko. Nilikuwa nataka, lakini nilikuwa very shy, niliogopa. Sasa baadaye nikamaliza, alafu nikarudi nyumbani. Na maisha nyumbani, msawajie wakati mmoja alituambia kwamba mkifanya mchezo mtaoa, lakini mtakosa, hamutaweza kusalisha wake zenu. Kama kuna mtu alisikia alichia. Nilifikiria itakuwaje. Mwalimu ametuambia namna gani. Baadaye nikagundua kwamba alikuwa anatueleza kama huwezi fanya bidii, mwisho utashindwa kulisha familia yako. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa maana ya msemaji kutueleza hivyo. Kwa hivyo hiyo 75 nikarudi nyumbani, kwetu ni Swam huko. Sasa maisha haikuwa mzuri sana. Nikajaribu kutafuta kazi, lakini kazi sikupata. Mapato nayo ilikuwa kidogo, na nilikuwa na wengine watoko nyuma ya. Sasa nilijaribu kuwaachia nafasi nao ili wajiendeleze. Kwa hivyo nikakaa 75 years, 76 mpaka kutokea 78 mpaka 84 hapo nilikuwa sikuwa na kibarua, lakini ukikosa kibarua sio lazima ukose pipi. Sasa nilioa hapo katikati maisha ikanisukuma, na ikawa siku moja kukawa na nafasi district hapa pale, kwamba walikuwa wanataka watu ya kibarua, na hao watu wanapeleka kipande sio certificate. Kwa hivyo nilipeleka kipande changu na nikapata nafasi. Na ukiwa na kipande unapata nini? Unapata si job group hivi, ndio vile serikali inaanza hivyo. Sasa nikafanya hapo kazi yoyote yenye ilikuwa hapo hospitali nilijaribu. Section zote, wale ambao mmeenda hospitali mnajua mnajua nilipitia hapo kila mahali nilijua section zote kutoka hapa mpaka hapa hivi. Baada ya mwaka moja nikafanikiwa, hiyo certificate yangu ikachukuliwa, nikapata promotion, nikawa clerical officer. Na kabla sijakuwa clerical officer nilikuwa at least nilikuwa najificha wakati nimepepa wheelbarrow kidogo nione mtu tulisoma naye kama nimemuonea mbali afadhali niwaje alafu nipike kona hapo. Sasa lakini kuna jamaa wengine wakanipa encouragement, wakasema no, wewe usijali, wewe endelea tu, usijali kufanya chochote. Na najua wabuge hata nisimamiza nitaongea kidogo kwa sababu yeye tulitoka naye mbali sana. Sasa wakati nilitoka hapo nikapata clerical officer, nikafanya kwa kila section hapo. Sasa ile mwenzaka aliposema mambo hiyo ya proficiency, nikafanya proficiency mosoreti hapo, alafu nikapata mambo ya stores. Sasa hiyo ndio ilikuwa certificate kubwa sana hapo hivyo. Basi nikafanya mambo ya stores, nikafanya revenue, nikafanya kila mahali. Nikatoka hapo transfer nikaenda Lotwa, nikatoka Lotwa nikaenda Kapkateti wenye wanajua hapo Kericho, kutoka Kapkateti nikaenda Lolkorian. Sasa huko Lolkorian ndio retire kama administrator 2017, na nilifurahi sana kwa hayo maneno. Sasa mimi nashukuru kuwapata nyinyi hapa, nyinyi wote marafiki zangu wenye nilikuwa najaribu kuota, hata nikilala siwezi kuona sura zao, lakini leo imekuwa mzuri sana nimewapata. Kwanza Angulu nilikuwa naonaga kama alikuwa namna hiyo, siku hizi amekuwa mrefu sana Sasa asanteni sana, hiyo tu ndio historia yetu na nimefurahi kuwa na nyinyi.
Makofi. Kwa heshima nitaomba hivi, kwa sababu ya muda na timu ambazo zimebaki ni seniors ndio watakuja last. Wale timu wamebaki najua tuko wengi, lakini wacha tukuje tu tuseme jina na mwaka, alafu tutaketi ili tupewa pioneers nafasi. Kuna kitu cha muhimu watatuambia. Nafikiri tumekubaliana, mtanisaidia hivyo. Thank you. And then we also have an agenda that we need to attend to as a team. So Chair, with your permission, I want to start with 2018 wakuje, 2015 wakuje, na wale wengine wote kuja, hata 2001. Naona Bwana Jenga uko hapo nyuma, kuja tu. Ulikuwa wewe ni wa 77? 77, wacha ndakupea nafasi na timu yako. Wale wa nyuma wote kujeni, apart from 1977. Nafikiri imebaki, na kwa vile bishop wako hapo sitaki kuaruka. Haya. Hiyo timu ya 2015, 2018 kujeni haraka. Madam, wewe naomba ruhusa. Kuja haraka na nimeitana. Please come. Tutasema jina, admission number na mwaka basi. Ili tupee nafasi nyingine, na Mungu akitupea wakati mwingine tutaanza mapema kuongea. Asante.
Bwana asifiwe. Asifiwe tena. Nina furaha kusimama mbele yenu. Kwa majina naitwa Agnes Wafula. Kweli mimi sijui admission number. Mimi nimesahau. Okay, my profession, I'm a dentist by profession, but currently bado sijapata job. Niko na hustle na Bloomberg Motors, nauza magari, gari za aina yote. Ukikuja huko utapata, ukitaka ile mpya utuletee mzee, bado utapata. Tuko Eldoret, Rupa Mall mbele, but kuna zawadi kidogo tuliwaletea, mtaona. And then namba yangu iko kwa wall, at least mnaweza nipata. And then kuna kadi ya mdosi. So mi ni marketer na siko limited. Mi na market everyone. Nimesikia wengine na shule, wenye wako na kazi mabiashara, mnipigie simu, mi ndaenda kuwauzia sera. Juu mi am a dentist, yes. I've been working with Pokot for 5 years, but nilikuwa na contract juu ya Wafula na hiyo jina ingine ya ngar.
All that I can say is that the school is really growing where we think it is destined to be. Yeah.
All protocol observed. My name's St.Mark Barasa. Niko hapa kwa capacity mbili. Capacity ya kwanza ni ya bosi wangu ambaye ni wa 86-89, ambaye pia ni area MP mahali mmekaa hapa, Bwana Morris Kakai Bisau. Kwangu mwenyewe ni wa 2001-2004. No, bad. Yeah, amewatumia salamu, angependa akuwe, lakini nafikiri ana travel kesho jioni, so atapata kama mkutano umeisha, lakini amewasalimu wote. Asanteni.
Our seniors, all senior citizens, pamoja na our last born. Good evening. Good evening. Kwanza kabla sijajitambulisha, ningependa kwanza kuwakaribisheni katika eneo hili. Poleni, nilikuja kama nimechelewa. Nilidhani nitalala huku ndio niwakaribishe, lakini sababu ya kikazi nikawa nimeitwa kazini kwenda kuwakilisha mkubwa wangu. Hiyo ndio ikafanya nikaondoka. Nimefurahi kuwaona. Pili, sijui kama mmekula. Mmekula? Mmeshiba? Chakula kiko kwa wingi, usalama uko wa kutosha. Labda tu niwaambie mahali tuko ni Waitaluk. Inaitwa Kapkoi. Ni Waitaluk location, Waitaluk division, Kiminini sub-county. Na mimi nafanya kazi katika eneo hili. Kwa hivyo nawakaribisheni sana, mjisikie mko nyumbani. Hayopa hakuna mtu wako na haraka ya kuondoka. Hii hafla ni ya siku 3. Na wakati nilikuwa napata lunch, daktari aliingia, tulikuwa tunakula lunch na yes, akaniambia hakuwa anaweza kufika siku ya leo, lakini akajiuliza tangu nitoke 70s Cherangani sijawahi rudi huko. This is an opportunity ya kwenda kuonana na wale watu ambao tufanya nini, tuliachana hiyo wakati. Na mimi nikasema ile wakati, unajua ile maneno mnaongelea sisi hatukuwa tumezaliwa. Kwa hivyo at least mnatusaidia kujua ilikuwaje. Kwa group nimekuwa nikisikia mkiongelea Stoneham. Then this on Saturday, on Monday, ama ilikuwa Tuesday, nikapeleka watoto wangu pale museum. Kufika huko nikaambiwa hapa sijui inaitwa Stoneham. Nikaambia mbona hii Stoneham naona ikiongelewa sana kwa group. Stoneham ni nini? Kila mtu anasema nataka kwenda kuona hiyo hostel ya Stoneham. Ndio nikaambiwa Cherangani ilikuanga ndio the museum, alafu ikamia wapi? So kama singeingia kwa group hata singejua historia kama hiyo. Kwa hivyo nafurahi kujiunga pamoja na nyinyi. Na we met with Mr. Wabuke kimchezo tu, sijui tulikuwa tunaongelea nini. Tukawa tunaongea kuhusu nani alisoma Cherangani. Nikaambia mtu mimi nilisoma. Nikaambia kuna mzee hapa pia alisoma Cherangani. Na hako anakuja hapa saa hizi. tumngoje, tukangoja kuja kuona ni Msawabuge. Msawabuge alipofika kukawa tena na mzee mwingine alikuwa anaosha gari lake, nikaambiwa pia alisoma Cherangani. Then wakaniambia wanapanga retreat Mulandi, yes, Mr. Mulandi, na nikaambiwa retreat itakuwa hii area. Ile kitu niliomba Mungu, nikaambia nisikuwe transferred kabla hiyo siku ya retreat ndio niweze kuattend. So to make the long story short, mimi naitwa Rispa Kitu. Mimi nilisoma Cherangani mwaka wa 2001, 2004. I was one of the planning committee. Na mlikuwa mnauliza huyo ni nani, nikasikia wanajibu ni mjukuu. So ule ambaye nilikuwa mdogo kwa hiyo planning committee ndiye mimi, na tunashukuru sana kwa kukubali huu wito wa kuja pamoja. Mimi napenda Cherangani sana. Na kama kuna kitu nakumbukanga Cherangani ni kidheri. Na sikuwahi kula cabbage nikiwa Cherangani sababu sukuma ilikuwa imeoteshwa pale. Na nimeona upendo wa watu wa Cherangani. After form 4 nilikutana na Mr. Choge. Mr. Choge, babangu alikuwa anafanya kazi kule Nandi, na akaniambia nenda katafute tinga ya kubeba mzigo fulani. So wakati nilienda kutafuta ikawa ni kwa Choge ndio kulikuwa na tinga. So wakati nilifika kule akaniuliza unataka nini, nikamwambia kuna mzigo ya baba nataka kubeba na tunatafuta tinga. Akaniambia tinga iko kuna kazi nyingi. Ati na wewe sijawahi kuona huku. Wewe ni nani? Nikamwambia natoka Cherangani. Akaniambia yeye alisoma Cherangani. Nikamwambia hata mimi nilisoma Cherangani. So nilipomwambia hivyo, akaniambia tinga haikuwa itoke, lakini sababu umesema ulisoma Cherangani na kupatia tinga iende ikakubebea mzigo. So akanipatia tinga ikaenda nikanibebea mzigo. Nikamuuliza pesa ngapi? Akaniambia haulipi. Na akaniambia ile siku utakuwa na kazi yoyote unakuja tu unaniambia na unakuja unaenda na tinga iende ikusaidie. So that is how we survived. Na nikaweza kusaidia baba yangu, akaweza kulipia school fees, mnisaidie kumpigia makofi huyo mzee. So hiyo ni upendo ambaye nikisikia Cherangani nasikia kuna watu wa upendo. So sababu ya muda sitaongea mengi. Mimi ndiye Assistant County Commissioner wa hapa, ama Madam Dio wa mahali tumekaa. Kwa hivyo nisisikia mtu anasema anaenda nyumbani, na mimi ndio security wa hapa. Nyinyi mtalala ndani, mimi nitalala nje. Na leo kesho tuende shuleni. Tumeandaa kila kitu. Nasikia watu wakiongelea mkarango. Mkarango iko. Ama chishwa iko. Nini ingine wanasema mko mnakula? Hizo popa iko. Sizini iko. Yaani hizo vitu zote mko mnakula mkiwa Cherangani tumehakikisha ziko, tujikumbushe haya. So thank you so much. Hapa ndani. Unataka nilete saa hii? So God bless you na karibuni sana. Thank you so much.
Naona mjukuu pila amerembeka. Angalia vazi mpaka ameweka maradadi. Mimi ndasema yangu kwa ufupi alafu niite 77. 77 kujeni nikisema yangu.
Kwa school captain and this was my assistant.
John Karanja ndio majina yangu, ilikuwa ni 829. Ndio ilikuwa captain wangu. Hili darasa lilikuwa la unique kwa sababu tuliitwa tukiwa boys peke yake. So stream mbili zilikuwa ni wavulana, ndio tulijulikana kwa ajili ya uvulana wetu. Nilimaliza 1980, nikaenda Kapsabet Boys High School A levels. Kutoka hapo nikaungana na Kenya Prisons. Baadaye nikaingia Kenya Institute of Administration, nikafanya social work, nikarudi prisons kama welfare officer. Na baadaye nikaingia sasa kanisa proper, nikataka kuhubiri. Nimekuwa mhubiri na kwa sasa nimekuwa nikifanya coordination ya crusades, international crusades, na shirika moja linaitwa Christ for All Nations la marehemu Reinhard Bonnke. Naishi bidii hapa Kitale na nafurahi kuwaona wazee wetu pamoja na wale tuliopita Cherangani imezaa watu wa nguvu. Asante sana.
Hamjambo, mimi niliitwa James Jenga Kamau, 7780. Admission ilikuwa 827, 824, 827, 829. Tulikuwa darasa moja. Nashukuru pia waandalizi wa mkutano. Bwana Wabuge, tumekuwa tukikutana, sikumbuki kama kuna siku tulikutana Cherangani, lakini nashukuru. Kumbe amenisaidia sana, na huyo ndugu yangu mwenye amekuwa hospitali hata huku nikumbusha, kumbe tulikuwa tunasoma pamoja. My neighbor here, Gladys, ndio naona na kina Mary Mwangi, hawa watu ni watu. And my cousin, my nephew here, Bwana Githuka, he is my nephew. Na unakumbuka sasa tulikutana kwa Bario Nairobi, hata sikujua ati umekuja namna gani mkiwa na daktari, lakini nataka kushukuru. I'm so happy about this forum. I saw Mr. Ayodi every other time. I wondered, was this the Ayodi I know? You are also there. Uliumia kama sisi. Hey. Anyway, tunashukuru Bongo. Otherwise mimi niko hapa Kitale. Baada ya Cherangani nilienda Kerogoya Boys. Katoka Kerogoya Boys nikakuja nikahangaika. Siku ndio mtu alikuwa anauliza what is your name? Your name betrays you. Na ikakuwa hivyo. Lakini Mungu ni mwema. Finally I rested in Kitale hapa, nikafungua biashara, ninauza bima mpaka sasa. Ile kitu tu nashangaa ni kuona watu wote ni wazee. Madam Werunga, I can still remember you, the tall girl in Form 4. Alikuwa tu na maneno mengi lakini si mbaya. So naona ni kama mimi niko in a wrong forum, lakini nashukuru Mungu. Thank you so much.
In 1978 to 1981, kwa majina naitwa Joseph Saina, maadhimisho namba ni 941. Nyumbani ni hapa tu, hapa neighbor here. So I worked after Cherangani Secondary School. I joined Kitale Municipal Council, nikafanya mpaka 1983, nika-resign. I joined Kenya Post and Telecommunication Corporation, kaingia upande wa international accounting, nikafanya up to 1994, nikaja Eldoret on transfer to open up the regional account here as the head of the North River that time in 1994 June. Baada hiyo, when there was a handover in government, nikarudishwa Nakuru to be in charge of the whole of Rift Valley upande wa Maniada. So nafurahi sana hata kuona my former colleagues, kina Kimayo huyu mchungaji, yeye ndio alileta gitaa ya kwanza Cherangani Secondary School. Hapo bado mnakumbuka gitaa ambayo ilikuja Cherangani. Yeye ndio alikuwa, it was that better, it was a new one, na akaanza sasa music wakati ya Kenya, wakati wa ilikuwa mtu UC. Madam, tukufanya naye kazi Nairobi Excelcom, mke wa mwenzangu, tukafanya naye kazi tukiwa Excelcom, nikiwa international accounts. Huyu tumekuwa naye kwa muda mrefu na Eldoret. Nashukuru kwa wale wote mkiwa na hapo. Asante sana.
Jambo wote. Naitwa Richard Wangila Mabonga. Nimekuwa Cherangani 78 through 81. Na nikiwa Cherangani, Bishop Kimayo alikuwa my mentor. Kwa hivyo tukawa pamoja katika Christian Union. Kwa hivyo nikiwa Cherangani nilijulikana sana na mambo ya Christian Union. Nilipomaliza Cherangani nilienda Kericho Boys High School. Nikatoka pale nikaenda University of Nairobi, nikafanya hesabu. BSc General, double maths. Nikaingia education, nikaanza kufundisha pale Eastern Province, Machakos. Nimekuwa pale kwa miaka 5 hivi, miaka 6. Na nilipomaliza nilikuwa nimeajiriwa kama UT. Nikaamua baada ya miaka 6 nikaenda nikaongezea, nikafanya postgraduate diploma in education. Na nikitaka kurudi nyumbani sikurudi kwa sababu mkubwa wa board of governors wakati huo akiwa ndiye Professor Mbibi, the late, ambaye alikuwa chief whip wakati ule, akaniambia hapana, wewe mwalimu mzuri, itabidi ubaki. Na akanishikilia, nikakaa ndani ya hiyo shule mpaka wakati alipoondoka. Mwaka wa 2007 ndio nikapata nafasi ya kuhama nikaja Trans Nzoia. Hapa Trans Nzoia nililand pale Matisi Friends kwa miaka 4. Nikaenda Kolongolo Secondary School, nikawa pale kama naibu wa mwalimu mkuu. Nilipotoka pale 2015 nikaenda kule Endebess, nikaanzisha shule ndogo pale. Sasa hivi si ndogo sana, shule inaitwa Bwala Secondary School, na nilistaafu kutoka shule hiyo. Sasa ni miaka 4. 2021 niliondoka. Kwa sasa hivi najihusisha na kilimo ndogo ndogo, nafuga kuku na pia najihusisha na mambo ya kanisa. Asanteni, barikiweni.
Bwana asifiwe. Bwana asifiwe tena. Kwa majina naitwa Hosea Kiplagat Choge. Cherangani nilijiunga 1982 to 1985. Mimi nyumbani mahali nilizaliwa si mbali sana, ni mahali naitwa Naisambu. Hiyo shule hiyo ni Choge mwingine. Nimesoma hapa tu Naisambu, nilizaliwa hapo na nikaenda kule Cherangani kwa hiyo miaka 4. Nilipomaliza Cherangani nikaweza kuajiriwa na kampuni ambayo ilikuwa inaitwa KGGCU ambaye baadaye ikaitwa Kenya Farmers Association. Nikaweza kufanya mpaka the year 2008. Nikaweza kuacha nikajiingiza kwa ukulima na biashara. Na kitu tu ambaye nawaambia madada zangu, mandugu zangu, Mungu ni mwema. Mungu ni mwema kweli, kwa sababu hiyo Cherangani najivunia kweli, kwa sababu vile nilivyo ni hiyo Cherangani. We learned a lot from that school. Tulikuwa na kuchapwa ambayo ulikuwa unasema sijui niwache shule. Yaani ikiwa giza wakati mnaenda preps ni kuchunga kichwa isigogwe. Kuna njia ilikuwa inaenda dom nyingine inaitwa Sahara huko chini. Iko maua kando na kando, ilikuwa saa zingine unaenda na magoti kwa sababu jui nini itatokea, lakini tuliweza kufaulu na tunashukuru Mungu. Cherangani imetoa watu all types of people. Kwa hiyo grupu yangu kuna watu wengi, hata the current PS, national PS, we Julius Korir were in the same class. Nilikuwa West. So yangu tu ni kusema asante Mungu, na mlifikiria jambo mzuri kukutana hivi na wale pioneers. Ni jambo mzuri na kushukuru Mwenyezi Mungu upate tuko. Hiyo kabisa ni asante. Niko na rafiki yangu, mke wangu. Kuja. Huyu sasa, wacha niseme tu moja. Huyu sasa just come kuja tu. Huyu sasa nilipompata tukapata watoto na Mungu ametusaidia, watoto wetu wote wameenda Marekani. Sasa ni mimi na yeye tu. Ndio unaona lazima nitembee na yeye.
Bwana Yesu asifiwe. Asifiwe tena. Hata mimi acha nichukue nafasi nishukuru Mungu. I want to congratulate you because sio rahisi. We've been trying ours. I'm an alumni of Moi Girls. Yes, Eldoret. We've been trying to meet, but it's haipangiki. So two people. So mimi nilifanya kazi Trans Nzoia hii. Sijui kama kuna wenye wanafahamu hii nyuso. I worked here for like 12 years. Before that ndio nipate mzee. I'd worked with ADC, and then from ADC nikaruka nikaenda Ministry of Lands, ndio nikadishwa tena Trans Nzoia. So Trans Nzoia actually I've worked for over 20 years because it was 8 plus 12, that makes 20. So, and to thank God because ameniweka. I worked with Ministry of Lands as a registrar. Kama umekuja lands hapa Kitale. Yeah, I worked here. Yeah. So right now niko Eldama Ravine. Ingalao tumefika pia karibu tufunge kazi. And we thank God because not all of them wanafika hapo. When I see seniors like you, it's worth thanking God. Because sio wote wanafika, either unafutwa, either unakufa. Lakini ukifuga hapo, what else remains than to serve God? Si ndio? So tukazane kwa hiyo njia. Asante sana.
Madam, and thank you sir for understanding that tuchelewe.
Asante sana kwa yote ambayo umeongea, na kabla hatujaenda kwa seniors, ningependa tusimame sote tuwakumbuke wale ambao tulikuwa tunasoma na hao na wamefariki. Dakika moja ya kuwakumbuka na kuwaombea. Wapumzike kwa amani. Amina, asante. So now, sasa tunaenda kwa seniors wetu. Hawa ndio walianza hii gurudumu tunaita Cherangani Secondary School. Na ile matatizo ya kwanza, hawa ndio wali experience hiyo. Na kwa hivyo we respect you highly. We are going to give you a chance to speak to us as your junior brothers and sisters, so that from you are words of wisdom that will keep us going the way forward. So instead of wasting time, so I welcome you. Don't know whether you'll come one by one, so that or you come all of you. Can you come all of you, the seniors? The seniors of 1968 to 1971. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Asanti Profesa, asanti wale wote ambao mlikuja kusoma kwa shule ambayo tulianzisha. Mimi sitasema maneno kwa sababu among us tumechagua mmoja wetu atazungumzia mambo ambayo tulipitia, lakini kwa hayo yote tuliweka msingi ndio mkakuja. Kama hatungeweka msingi, hatungekuwa na Cherangani. Tulikuwa tunalala vibaya, tunakula vibaya, tunatembea vibaya, tunabeba maji vibaya. Everything was bad. But we managed. We went through. I'm a teacher by profession and an education officer. Naitwa Peter Wangala. Natoka Kwanza. Ukifika Kwanza, ukiuliza tu Wangala, hata wacha Kwanza, Kitale tu, uliza Wangala, watakwambia ako hapo na anaishi Kwanza. Asanteni, Mungu aendelee kuwabariki. Naomba tu tukutane mapema ndio tuwe na maneno ya kuzungumza siku zote. Si ni kweli? Wengine hatujui kuendesha gari usiku, sasa nikitoroka si mbaya. Yeah? Na Wabuge huyo ni ndugu wa my mother. Yeye ndiye anafuata my mother, but I'm his senior in age. Asante. I retired 25 years ago.
Your admission number, sir. Your admission number, sir.
Oh, my admission number is 11.
I will not. Watu wa Cherangani hamjambo. Mimi naitwa Habel Owino. I got into that school in January 1968. They were my senior. I found him and him there. I will not take long time, but let me give you an incident that I saw. Two incidences. One, there were smokers
in that school. I didn't smoke, but we had smokers. So one time, some Czech students went smoking at around 8 during preps near a very big acacia tree with a tall grass like this. Little did they know that Mr. Mbudia and his bazaar, James Wanjala, were lying in the grass just next to that tree. So they smoked. Then all of a sudden, they just heard Mbudia talking and saying, just stand there. And they froze. Nobody could run. They froze there. Then he said, okay, you are the one, and you, Wanjala, take their numbers and their names. So, and he knew almost every student by name, Mr. Mbudia. So their names were recorded, and he said, okay, come to my office tomorrow morning. So they went and queued. And they told, you wanted to uproot the tree because, so you, I have given you this tree to uproot. You, and the tree was this size. They spent almost 2 weeks uprooting the tree. The ones who had gone to help the smoker were also given their trees to uproot. So everybody was uprooting the tree. Then another incident, you know, it was, sometimes in the evening it was cold, kulikuwa na baridi. Alafu kulikuwa na ile tangi ya kuchemsha maji hapo nje na kwa jikoni. I don't know whether you found it. Then Mr. Mbudia had given instructions that no student should get hot water from there. Cheeky as we were, one student went with a cup to get some hot water for coffee. Little did the fellow know that Mbudia was just behind the corner with Wanjala. Then as the fellow was holding the hot tap like this, then Mbudia comes from behind and say, Taru called to go to Kagumo College for a diploma. And I did the diploma. When I left, I was posted to Nandi, Kaptumo High School. I taught. Then, after 3 years, I was transferred to teach in Cherangani Secondary School. Yes. 1990. Maybe you are clapping when you don't know the history behind it. I reported in Cherangani in the morning, and at 2 o'clock, I got a letter calling me to go to Kenyatta University. So I only reported, the headmaster wrote that I reported, and I went back home, and I was on my way to Kenyatta. So when I finished, I was posted to Asumbi Teachers College. Taught for some times. I applied for a job in public service. I saw it in the papers as an education officer, and I got the job in City Hall. After some times, I went back to the public service. I applied. I became the provincial staffing officer in Nairobi. Those many primary schools, I know them. We met with Ms. Ayodi in Nairobi. But let me tell you people, I went through hell in Cherangani, raising school fees. I hardly spent over a month per term for the 4 years until a good Samaritan came and paid my school fees at the last minute. I had no money to register for exam. So as people are registering, I didn't know where to get money to register. So Mr. Mbudia told me, you will not do the exam. You will not do the exam. You have not been registered. I said, I have no money. Little did I know that Mr. Mbudia had paid my registration fee. He was threatening me, but behind, he had paid because he knew I could not afford. So I did, and I passed. But what I wanted to tell you is this. When I was in the office, Mungu ananjia nyingi ya kufanya vitu. I got some small scholarship to go to Botswana. But some fellows undercut me. I went with my passport only to find a colleague had been given that chance who was not in that line. And he went. So I was left behind. But as I've said, Mungu anajua mambo mengi. A few months later, director calls me and he tells me, Mr. Wino, is your passport still valid? Then I said yes. Then he said, you have got a scholarship to go to Israel. So I went to Israel and stayed in that northern part called Haifa, Golda Meir College, until I came back and continued with my job as school staffing officer in Nairobi. I am surprised that I am the only 1968 student, 69. Don't we have anybody in 1969 here? I'm the only one.
That's why you are few.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? You know, things happen with a purpose. Why is it that out of 100 students, I am the only representative, yet I am the one who was unable to pay school fees? Yeah? Because Mr. Mbudia wanted me to come and give testimony of the school. That is why I'm here alone. So whatever our great teacher, Mr. Mbudia, you are lying, know you have great people behind you. All these people who are sitting here courtesy of Mr. Mbudia's hands. May God bless him wherever he is. Thank you.
Owino, thank you very much for your wonderful experience and for teaching us exactly through what you went through. Professor Krebo.
Asante sana wanachera wote ambao mmekuja, officials, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. Mimi mmesikia wakiita professor. Jina langu in full is Professor Benson Estambale. This Professor Benson Estambale. Cherangani nilikuwa naitwa Blasio Estambale. Sasa Blasio wengi wanajua, lakini it is now silent. Lakini Benson Blasio Estambale. Niliingia Cherangani tarehe 16 mwezi wa pili 1970. They are my seniors, eh? We were the third cohort. Nikatoka 23rd November 1973. Now before that, we didn't have accommodation in Cherangani. I think the few dormitories were already full by these guys who were ahead of us. So tuliambiwa, and that time before kufanya CPE, tuliambiwa we will choose Cherangani Secondary School as our first choice. It was by force, by the way. Because they wanted that school to be established and to start fully functional. So they picked everybody who did very well in CPE. Wakatuambia mnaenda Cherangani. But now they did not have dormitories. So what they did for us is to take us and accommodate us in St. Joseph's. Ilikuwa inaitwa St. Joseph's Teachers College. Wakati ilikuwa TTC. So we escaped their monolism. When we went to TTC, ile mambo tuliona TTC, walisema sisi ni watoto. So they were beating wale walimu. Na sisi tunaambia muende mlale. Watoto muende mlale. So for one term, we enjoyed seeing what was happening in terms of monolism in the TTC. Until we came to Cherangani in second term. But these guys were already exhausted, so they didn't even bother. So to enjoy, okay, our stay in Cherangani was not as bad. But we had little bits here and there of experience. Mimi ambiwa toa hiyo kiato chako, it was a new shoe. Ambia toa? No. Niliambiwa niende, kuna mchanga pale, niende nisukume hiyo kiato mpaka nilete nicheze hapa kama lori.
So I was doing it, ooh, and crying, you know. Unalia, but there is nobody who can help you. Wewe mpaka ufanye vile, unajaza huo mchanga huku upande huu, because you are a lorry and you must do it. Those were the pains we went through, but they were not very difficult, like what I've heard people saying. The worst, ilikuwa kitu ingine, ilikuwa inaitwa omdobolo. Ilikuwa ukilalia, nilisikia somebody saying that ulikuwa analala juu yako na wewe chini, double decker. So somebody sleeps, the old boys sleep below, the monos sleep up. Na unaambiwa ufika huko usitingize. So you have to find a way of reaching there without shaking your host. Okay, that is one. Two, once you are asleep, because they had made it in such a way that wanakuja na a whip. So usiku mnasikia tu saa 5, mtabala, na watu wanapigwa huko juu kabisa. That was the most harrowing experience. And it used to be around after prep. But people dreaded going to the dormitories after prep. Watu wanaenda kwa maua, flowers to sleep there until the morning. Anyway, that aside, we did very well in Cherangani. I think our class was also very bright. And we finished in 1973. I personally got a Division 1 and was taken at Njiri's High School, Thika. I actually had 3 choices: Cheoyet, St. Patrick's C10, and Njiri's. And I chose to go to Njiri's. I thought Njiri's was, because ilikuwa mbali kule, niliona nimekaa hapa primary, now secondary, wacha niende mbali kidogo. So I went to Njiri's for Form 5 and 6. I did my A-level in Njiri's and went straight to the University of Nairobi, 1976. That time I went to study medicine. Actually, I was one of the first people to do medicine from Cherangani. I'm hoping that there are many more now who have done it. And I did medicine, after which I went out to do internship. And I went to internship in Machakos, went back to the University of Nairobi to do my master's and become a lecturer. I have lectured in the University of Nairobi since 1984 until 2012. Obviously rising through the university ranks. You heard the chairman saying, I ended up by being a full professor of microbiology. My specialty is infectious diseases, tropical and infectious diseases. From there, I was given to lead an institute called University of Nairobi Institute of Tropical and Infectious Diseases, which I headed for 9 years. Then I was picked, or I was selected or appointed to go to Jaramogi Oginga Odinga University of Science and Technology, where I became the Deputy Vice Chancellor in charge of research, innovation, and outreach. I've been at Jaramogi until 2023, when I attained my 70th year. I decided to retire. Lecturers and professors want to retire at 74, 75. But for me, I said, no, wacha ni retire kama bado nina nguvu kidogo. I know we all want money, but at least I also want to give my body some rest and do what I like most. And what I like most is farming. As a doctor and a researcher, I love farming. I had come back to Kitale, Trans Nzoia, where I grew up and educated, and got a small piece of land, just about, it's a stone throw away from here. This center, many of you who know this center here, called Simatwet, it's just here. In fact, maybe they're even hearing me talking in my house, okay? It's just here. I can walk and be in the house, and obviously I will be in my house. So I decided that kama bado nina nguvu, waja nitumie the rest of my age, my life. Mungu bado ananipa nguvu, waja niendelee. So I have been that way, and the rest of the people, they have told me, come and help. I said, I can only come to give you advice, but I don't want to go back to class, neither do I want to go and practice medicine. You can see how it is. People have different ways of doing it, and I think I'm happy. I may not have what I used to have, but I'm satisfied with the little I have, and I'm thanking God for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Asante sana, Professor Chitambale, for that wise kind of expression. Now we give to our brother here, Ayode, our senior. Welcome.
Alumni, hamjambo. Hamjambo tena. It gives me a lot of pleasure really to see this group. It's a group that I think Banatanu and myself tried to set it within our pioneer group, but we were unable. But you people came us later. I really congratulate you for having put up this group. I was incorporated in this group, I think by
us.
Yeah, well, this group now actually been in the, I think in the committee. So when you had somebody being called a granddaughter, it's me who named somebody a granddaughter, Rispa. So of course she can only be my granddaughter, not any other person's granddaughter, because they came behind, isn't it? But what is important, let me tell you, I leave much of Cherangani to Dr. Tanui to tell us more about Cherangani, isn't it? Let me talk about myself a bit. When I went to Cherangani, even Tanui thought I was from an affluent family. That's because I was actually done a favor by an old museum in town here, who was those days called tutors at St. Joseph's Teachers College, isn't it? He brought me to Cherangani in a brand new Hermes, black. And he told Lydia, take this son of mine in the class, without even telling him who will pay school fees. You know, there was respect, isn't it? Lydia was a principal, that was a what? A tutor, isn't it? Tutors were teachers of principals, or teachers, isn't it? So I can say in Cherangani, Lydia was a bit hesitant to punish me, because he thought I would tell the boss, isn't it? Yes, so, but what everybody has talked about, let's say those people who are in Cherangani have talked about, gives my wife an insight of, you know, where my resilience comes from. Because after Form 4, I went to Nairobi to look for work. I got, those days it wasn't so hard. I got an employer after Form 4. He took me to Kenya Polytechnic. So those who came to Kenya Polytechnic, I've had a number of you, isn't it? So I led you there as well, isn't it? So I went to Kenya Polytechnic, sponsored by a British company. And then they took me to Britain and came back and worked as technical manager in the company. After that company, I worked to, the last company I ever worked for was Southern Paints, when it was still then a Danish company, not Asian. I went to Denmark also for training. I came back. Now, when I came back, I actually came and started business in Nairobi. I worked in Nairobi. My wife was working with the poster to make it stronger. People have come up with various suggestions of what we should do, but that's not upon me at my age. I leave it to the younger people to decide where they want to take this one through, isn't it? I let my wife say one or two. I'm not really a very, I'm not good in speech, but I hope I've passed my message, and I give my wife a few moments as well. Thank you.
Yeah, I just wanted to appreciate Ayode and his wife. They were very critical in our planning committee membership. And when Ayode told us that the wife will come along, he told us that the wife will contribute something to this group. Akatoa Mbuzi. So Pazuri is a place to go. It's one of the best hotels in Kitale. We have been there, and it belongs to one of us. So thank you very much for coming along with your wives.
Good evening. I want to take this opportunity to thank God. I thank God for this evening and for this day. I think it is a day that God has made, that we meet here and become friends. It's not every day that you see a group of people like this, very happy. And by the way, my husband is very, very happy in this group. Since he started this association, he's a different man. Always smiling to my advantage. So I also wanted to say that when I was marrying my husband, I asked him, didn't you find somebody at Chera? And he told me no. Cherangani, there were only 2 girls. We were sleeping in one dormitory and only 2 girls. So I didn't have a chance to talk to any of them. That is how I accepted him. And when I told him I went to Mukumu Girls, he told me you are the one. Because it will be easy for you to know our home and even learn our language. So I'm very happy today to be able to meet all of you. I'm sure from today we shall make friends, we shall visit one another, and even meet at another forum in future. Thank you so much, and may God bless you all.
Dr. Tony Tirong is a great man, exceptional in his own right. We met at my university. He was in charge of the section of the library, and there he was reading some of my books, but he never knew that I was from Cherangani. Somehow later on, we came to know each other, and we have maintained a friendship. He's a solid man. Thank you for being here with your family.
Thank you. Good evening. Hamjambo tena. My name is Mary Tanui, and everybody has something to say about Cherangani. But let me tell you something. I saw Cherangani from the scratch when it started, because I was just a little girl. Those years, my mom used to tell me, carry this milk to Mr. Mbudia. So we used to supply milk to Mr. Mbudia, Mr. Borwet, and the Wachie family. If you can remember, there used to be an old man. His shamba used to stretch up to Cherangani. There was very big blue gum along the road. The old man was called Chelemek. Let him rest in peace. He was my father. So I think during that time when I was carrying that little milk in a small container, he used to he used to spy around. So the rest is history. So I want to thank you so much, but my parting shot is that now that you have worked for people, you have worked for the nation, you have worked for everybody, kindly take care of that body. Take care of yourself. Work for yourself. Because what else do you need to do? Is there anything? Are you looking for a job? Are you paying school fees for your children? So what else? Relax and thank God and take care of yourself and you'll go far. Thank you. May God bless you.
I forgot to mention that part of the Mrosik 20 liters came from this family.
I'm a teacher by profession, but I retired as a civil servant. Thank you.
Good afternoon, colleagues. This is the moment we have been waiting to get the climax of our meeting today. First, I want to appreciate Professor for doing something I had in my heart that we would do, and that is remember the departed, our colleagues who have rested, because as I stand here to give prehistory and history, I say I don't deserve it. It is only by God's grace that I stand here. So thank you for remembering to do that. Now, the lady who has just been standing here was polite enough to say I was spying her. I wasn't spying her. I lived right in their home for 4 years when I was in Cherangani. When I was in Cherangani Form 1, she was in class 1. Mrs. Mbudia, Mrs. Wachie, Mrs. Wabwile taught her. I went away, came back 7 years later to take her hand. So others, I don't know who may have had children in the village with others, but for me, I got a wife. So I'm happy that I finished well in Cherangani, but somebody said he ran away with somebody's daughter. I also ran away with one. So, colleagues, I want to request for your patience. Why? Because I decided to write a small speech because I wanted to go on record. I'm going to sign it. I'm going to have it remain in the alumni files because of the future. You never know. Therefore, it is not a long one. It's about 2.5 pages. But I will begin by giving you what is not written, but it is real prehistory. In around 1918, 1919, after First World War, Sam Muzungu retired from the British Army, and he had obtained the rank of Lieutenant Colonel, and later bought a farm in Cherangani. This retired army man got wounded in the army and was on a wheelchair. That is Colonel H.F. Stoneham. Now, he started the farm in 1923. I'm not talking fiction, I'm talking reality because I was there. In 1923, he started the farm. Not that I was there in 1923, but I saw the Mzungu myself. Yeah. And in this farm, he never did farming like all the other white farmers. So he never had cattle, he never had tractors, he never had this, but he was a naturalist. So he decided to collect
butterflies, caterpillars and all these things, and established a museum. Now, he had about, I remember, only 3 workers. There were 2 Luo gentlemen, and they were brothers. They used to work for him in the house as kitchen, I don't know, attendant and so forth. And then there was a Calais gentleman who had cows roaming around his Mzungu's farm, and he used to supply the milk. This Mzungu didn't even have water supply. He used to have 2 donkeys going to a water tank right below on the left side of a Mzungu called J.R. Brook. He used to pump water into a water tank there. That is where these 2 donkeys used to get water for the Mzungu. In 1964, 2 small boys joined a school which by then was called East Surrey Central. East Surrey Central. As I got into the school, I was wearing very nice new khaki uniform with inscription embroidered here in red, NS. I was the attraction of the school pupils. They came round, saw me, very nice uniform. Of course, no shoes. NS, what does it mean? Of course, they coined their own meaning. North-South. North-South. So, I joined class 6. That was East Surrey. So, I learned in that school 1964, 1965. In 1965, the government put up a very long building somewhere, which you call it Sahara. And they put up another one, which was meant to be the classrooms. I was seeing, because that is where I was passing when I was going to, I was going home. And rumor had it that they were going to start a school. In 1966, unfortunately, Stoneham rested. He died. I can't recall, but I stand to be corrected. He was buried in the farm next to his wife, who was also buried there, and the grave, you know, was cemented, and we used to play around there. This Stoneham, because he was in a wheelchair, he had an avenue, blue gum trees. So we had people sweeping those blue gum trees, and they used to push him to the end where Mr. Siwa's house, there is a farmer there, and back home. 67, I left Sisare, I went to a school called Sinyereri, now close home. Because 66, I used to foot from home, which was about 8 miles, to Sisare, Sinyereri. So I went to Sinyereri for 1 year, 1967. Did KCP. Now, I'll stop there for prehistory, but let me go now to the written speech and connect it from there as we go. This speech is in 5 parts, short ones. Part 1. The time was 8 a.m. and the sun was barely up in the sky, sending hot temperatures rising and people scampering early to the shade. 2 people sat round a table under the mirembe. You call it murembe or mlembe? Mirembe tree, with a pile of papers spread all over the table. I was asked whether I came to report to the new Cherangani secondary school. I answered in the affirmative. A slim man with spectacles checked through a list and found my name and registered me as student number 9 after paying 250 school fees. Okay. I was asked to join other students who had come before me. Remember, number 9 means 8 others had come. Questions started running through my mind, wondering, was this all? What kind of a school is this? But I had answers to most of the questions since I was a student in 1966 in the nearby East Surrey Central School, and I had heard about a new secondary school being started in the neighborhood. I even saw some mud structures being constructed in 1965. I've said this. And at that time, that was around 1965, Stoneham donated land to the primary and donated 26 acres to Cherangani Secondary School. At that time, 26 acres was very big land in Kenya. Okay? And that is why the government came in and put up these structures. And I recall it was at the time of ministers such as Taita Towet, Biu Koinange, and Jeremiah Nyaga. They were alternating. I think one stayed longer than the other, from 66, 67. I can't remember who was before who. But those were the people who were leading the ministry at that time. How did I get myself here in the first place? I asked myself. Barely 4 years after independence, Kenya experienced extreme hunger for education, and especially secondary schools. After all, there was no government school in Trans Nzoia at the time, except 2 private ones. That is, Trans Nzoia Secondary School, which was formerly owned by Senator William Wamalwa, the father to Wamalwa Kijana. The school, does it still exist? No. And Kennedy High School. Kennedy High School, later on, it still exists as Weaverbird. Yeah, it belonged to Indians. No, Kitale High, no. It is Weaverbird. Kitale High started as a government school. Yeah. It is Weaverbird. By the way, I have been in Trans Nzoia from 1962, so I know. Yeah, I know. My wife can tell you she was in St. Monica across. Private schools and colleges trended all over East Africa at that time, by the way. And few years later, Harambee schools were started by the public. How many of you remember Harambee schools? Most of you went to Harambee schools without knowing, because they were taken over by government. Professor Stambale, I know you know a bit of this. And I met your spouse in Koitalel Samoe, we were colleagues. Or she's not the one. How is she doing? Take my greetings. We worked together. Yeah, briefly. After my KCP in 1967, I applied to colleges in Kenya and Uganda, and even received invitation to join a college in Mukono, Uganda. Among other letters received was the one from Cherangani, and no other. And you have said the reason here. I came to learn that all best performing students in 1967 KCPE were compelled to join without option of another school. So it did not start from you after all. It started from us. The school started as a day school, and I stand corrected, on 8th January 1968. Harambee boarding was begun the following month. It remained a day school up to the time we left. I don't know whether the government took over the boarding side, but this is history that we need to confirm. The school, now what I mean by the Harambee boarding was begun the following month, it meant that a few of us, pioneers, I have the list here, I'll show you, went to board. The rest continued living in the neighborhood, people's homes, including myself. I was with the Nandis around there, and Ayodi. The school initially admitted 25 students, though some gradually joined us later, up to, I think, 35. I have the list there. The students hailed from various primary schools in the district, such as Nyerere, Admiral's End, which is now Priviliet, Kapsara, Union, St. Columbans, St. Joseph's, and so forth. Some of us from farm schools like Nyerere and others, we looked like, I don't know what. Yeah, like villagers. When you get Ayodi, not Ayodi, those others from Union, St. Columbus, oh my God. They were from the elite schools. I have finished part 1. Part 2, learning. How was learning? By the way, I'm giving you only history of year 1, 1968. I cannot talk about 1969 onwards because you are here. Carry your own history. Because 1968 you are not there. I'm giving you this now. And I know nobody else will give you this. Let's go to learning. 1 month in school was enough to send away the most enduring and resilient student of today. It was a school that never was. Okay? Because, you know, you go to be admitted, there is no road, there is no signpost, there is no nothing. You just maneuver through bushes until you find a structure, and then here you are, you have these people under the Murembe tree. Where was the school? There was no school. So, most likely, it fits the description of an open prison or a concentration camp. You have described the suffering, but it was not like ours. Because we had to create a school out of the blue sky. We were compelled to come to school daily, and you remember, Mr. Mbudia was the principal, and you know how he was. Yet there was little meaningful learning, but enough trouble, as there was no water to drink, no food to eat, no toilets, no classrooms, no roads, no playground, not even a signpost. So you are just there. There was very little of everything else called learning, except too much of hard labor. Let me tell you, with Mbudia, he drove a car, and he says, tomorrow I want to drive on a road. So you would go get some jembes, remove some grass, make a straight line up to Chelemek's place, that's the blue gum down there, where you enter the school. And Mbudia would drive on it with his Ford Cortina GT. To drown our miseries, the principal coined the motto, ever busy, ever happy. Yes, yes. Yeah. Now you know where it came from. Because you come to school expecting learning, no learning except djembe, no toilets, no, not, I mean, and you just had to be there. Okay, you know where Ever Busy, Ever Happy came from. Despite these challenges, we never ran away. Something mysterious, obviously, was locking us in. Yes, I'll tell you what happened. So, as the classroom was being plastered, because there was this building of 2 rooms, which was matope sites, and they were plastering and making a floor out of it. Lessons took place under the Mirembe tree. History and geography was perfectly taught by our teacher, Mr. Mansoor Jeraj of Pakistani origin. Mr. Wanjala Munialo was the clerk, yes. We used to call him Wanjala, not Munialo. Munialo came later. Was the clerk Kambasa. So there were only 3 members of staff. And by the way, for almost a whole year. Mr. Ezekiah Karanja Mbudia, who was transferred from Kapsabet High School as a Kiswahili teacher to head the school, commuted daily from Kitale town in his creamish Ford Cortina GT car. Mr. Gerard got boarding in Cherangani farm house. The rest of us either trekked from Kitale, which was very common. People used to walk from Kitale, they are going to school in Cherangani. Drivers found, others found residents in the neighborhood, others joined the Arambe boarding, those who could afford. Learning was a struggle with only 2 teachers teaching all the subjects on the timetable and without textbooks, which were bought and used without any other supplementary text. In this case, we read, crammed, and swallowed the content wholesale. Because there was nothing else. We spent most of the time ferrying water 2 kilometers away on either side, south or west, using drums that we rolled uphill from the river. Because you rolled the drum to the river, you filled it with water, you pushed it, it was time to go to class at 8:30 or whatever, you left the drum there. You walked to class. Lunch hour or break time, you came to push and you reached the school. That was the water they were using in the boarding section, and also constructing Mr. Mbudia's brick house. Did you find a brick house? Any small misdemeanor occurring, you are assigned to uproot tree stumps and flatten anthills, dig roads, or create playground. That was just our breakfast, our lunch. We were never surprised. We were given those to do. That is part 2, learning. Now, part 3 is about personalities. And you see, we cannot claim to be here as Cherangani alumni, being proud of ourselves, without the personalities that created this atmosphere. I give credit to these personalities, and let me describe them in a minute. The saying goes, better sheep that is led by a lion than lions led by a sheep. Cherangani became what it is because of the nature of personality and character of the principal and the administrator. Mbudia was not hard on you. I tell you, us. And I am sure Mr. Mbudia, he never gave anybody any transfer. You join Cherangani, you are locked in. So, don't tell your dad, oh, you cannot dig until. Mr. Mbudia was shot. By the way, this story I'm telling to those who never saw Mbudia, but some of you who saw Mbudia, you know how he was. Mr. Mbudia was short, stout, and light-skinned. A senior scoutmaster and liked wearing military jackets in the evening strolls, and allegedly owned a gun. I don't want to be categorical to say he had, but we know he had a gun. So as students, having a principal with a gun, yeah, you know what that means. He was married with a wife and 2 sons. He drove Ford Cortina and later bought a new blue Ford Escort. He was soft-spoken but tough disciplinarian. Mr. Mansoor Cheraj, a short, pleasant gentleman full of humor and his mathematics. We liked him because he seemed to suffer like us, walking to his house 1 kilometer away. He did his domestic chores by himself. Obviously, he did not enjoy being at Cherangani. Mr. Anjala was lean and tall and wore spectacles, and equally no-nonsense man. And anything small mistake you did, you could be sent to the ante-hill. He rarely smiled. It was almost always terror hanging in the air. Then there was the school captain by the name of gentleman, happy to carry one science subject for one to qualify to sit pure science or general science. I chose biology taught by Mrs. Wachie and opted to drop mathematics instead. We had trouble with selecting subjects. The principal would not hear of it. That is me now wanting to drop mathematics. Mr. Mbudia would not hear of it. And you know how much we feared him. When Mr. Wachie used to teach maths, I was reading James Hadley chess books. Me, I never wanted maths. And forced me to register, which I did, but failed miserably. I got a 9 prof. Yes, it is there in that. We sat the exam and surprisingly did very well. Better than other older schools in Rift Valley. I'm talking about Njoro and even Joyet. The results were as follows. Division 1 we had 3, Division 2 we had 8, Division 3 we had 9. Division 4 we had 11, we had 1 fail. Unfortunately, this was a brother of one of the science teachers. Now, the record stayed intact and broken for 10 years, if you calculate based on the number of students. Now, we know what kept us in. Hard-earned success through resilience and endurance. No wonder we all did KJSE in 1969 with hope, with thinking and hope to run away to other schools if we did well. After suffering for 2 years, we said, KJSE we do, and then we joined Kapsabet Boys, Kabarnet, Kamusinga, but none of us went. All the results were so good. Surprisingly, it was the opposite. We all did well in the exam and chose to remain instead because now we knew the reward of the hard labor. As I conclude, my colleagues, the exam was done, and as I was waiting for this exam, I panicked. I was waiting for the results, and finally sneaked early to school to collect the results because I did not want to meet anyone just in case I had failed. I was really terrible. Then came the expectation to be invited for selection of my choices, which was high school, teachers college, and I chose St. Joseph's because I didn't want to miss out on anything, and whatever else I can't remember. I kept going to see Mr. Wanjala for any calling letter. There was none. Remember, the list is here. Division 2, me, 24 points. I missed 1 point to join Division 1. No calling letter, no nothing. Supposing it was you, what would you have done or imagined? There was none. March, April, May came and went. What happened to me? I gave up and I went to Thika town to look for jobs in the factories. If you remember Thika those days, it was the center of industries in Kenya. Kenya Tore Mills, Kenya Tatex, Kenya Ward, Kenya Canas. And we used to go to the labor office to sit under the tree. And then Kenya Canas would come and pick 5. Tomorrow, so on. But I never got anything. I seemed to have disappointed my humble parents. June went and nothing came. Fast forward, I finally approached nominated member of parliament who put me through PS Home Affairs and Commissioner of Prisons, where I landed a job as a prison warder. Completed my training and posted to Kisumu main prison, which you call Kodiaga. Now, I didn't realize maybe God is preparing me through the wilderness. No high school, and I had chosen Kaparnet High School as a new school. I thought they would take me. I began new life after 4 years service in Kenya prisons, a life of academics and books. When I got a job in 1975 in Kenya National Library Services, Nairobi. Worked there for 10 years. Got my first training in the UK in 1983. Came back. Joined Moi University in 1985. Worked 1989. I went for my master's. Came back. 1997, started my PhD and completed in 2006. Now, there are two things that happened to me in life that are remarkable. As I stand here, I don't know how a boarding school looks like. So I have been a day scholar all through, even through university. Even when I was in the UK, I had to live in the estates, not even in the university. That is something remarkable. I don't know how. When somebody is telling me that I did, where is Owino? That he is not the one who led the strike. I don't understand, because me, I was in the villages. Yeah? So that is something remarkable. Number two, most of my academic life is self-educated and also pioneering. 1966, I pioneered multiple choice. 1967, I went to Sinyereri, became the pioneers of Sinyereri. 68, I pioneered. And then I came to pioneer Moi University. And then again, we were pioneer in Koitalel somewhere. It's like when there is something new, I love to be there. Now, in my education, I think I've been sort of like reading on my own. Even for first degree, I was married with a family and a job. Masters, I had a family and a job. PhD, distant learning for almost 9 years. I got my degree at the age of 58, my last degree. So, ladies and gentlemen, I began by saying it's only by God's grace that I'm standing here. I don't see Cherangani as the other years, 66 years ago. I see it as if it was last week. When I see you, and I remember what we went through with the Ayodi here and Wangala, I thank God for that. It has not been easy, and I want to say, let's keep our legacy and what else, what do you call it? That history.
The legacy.
Yeah, the legacy. Let it continue, because let me tell you, your own grandchildren will pick it from us, and they will say, if they made it, why not us? With those few remarks, thank you for listening to me. I did not intend to take this long, but I'm saying I'm leaving this with the Secretariat. We take it on from there. I have not finished my research. I want to research on Colonel Stoneham, and I want to research on Mr. Mbuthia, so that I'm writing my biography, by the way, and I will want to put something substantial or adequate in, yeah. So thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
A round of applause to Dr. Cherangani. Once again, 1, 2, 3. Thank you very much for that historical narration of our school.
This is the list of
you can
please show it to the camera.
the camera there.
This is the list of my classmates.
As professor is doing that, I want to recognize Bwana Wenani who came in late. Unaweza simama karibia hapa kidogo, useme jina yako as professor continues. Kabla Wenani kuja, just Wenani, you can just wait a little bit. Yes.
Sorry, I wanted to say this is original. It has a school rubber stamp, original.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I'll take a picture.
Yeah. And then it has the names, the performance in KCSE, EACE,
yeah,
and then the analysis down here.
Yes.
So that's why I framed it, because not many people have it.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
I do not want to circulate because this is personal information.
Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Now we forgot one important thing. We wanted to have a photo session. Can we have a photo session immediately now before we go to the next thing here?
Please.
Which is the right place?
Is it okay here or we can move elsewhere? Hapa watu watatoshea. Kujeni tu. Tuende hapo nyuma. Pale nyuma eh? Yes. Tuende hapo.
A photo session please, and then we come back for the last bits of things that are remaining. Before it
Where is your secretary?
The one which is doing it now.
Thank you very much.
That's why I want you to be here. So that you rectify very critical.
During the seminar, I was you know, you are looking a little familiar with someone. Isn't that your plan, huh? Oh!
It's talking about who knew we would be doing.
No, we will actually attach it to the document.
Yeah.
We will attach it to the document today. What we are doing today. Now, let's come back to the venue, please, kindly. Let's come back. Please, please, please. Let's come back. We have a small session. Critical session that requires members. All members, please, back to the bench. All members, back to the bench.
When you are, oh, you had it, yes.
Members, kindly
Yes.
back to the bench. Rudini haraka ili tumalize session imebaki, tuende freehold. Thank you very much, members. Thank you very much, members. Sit down once more. Professor, you can proceed now. I think they can. Wenani, you can come and introduce yourself as people are sitting, please. You come in late, but it's important. Wataweka. Tutaattach na hii document, ndio tumeelewana na yeye. Sawa.
Jambo sana. My name is Patrick Wenani Wamocha. First, when I think of Cherangani, I become young. It's a terrible place. I joined Cherangani in 1976. I came from Transvaal Primary School. I left 1979. Today, I should admit it's a great day. But there is one man I want to recognize. I left Cherangani, I learned with him, and he became my teacher, John Mungai. Oh. This one here. How are you, sir? This guy taught me Nairobi when I was taking a diploma in criminology. He's a terrible man. Thank you so much. I can also be becoming a teacher. So in short, that is what I am. I come from Bungoma. I'm a Bukusu. I joined 76, 79 I left Cherangani. But when I think of Cherangani, I really become young. And if I had opportunity to ask God one thing, I could tell him to reverse 76 to 79. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I forgot something. What I do now, after retiring from Moi in 2018, we have a private school that we are running with my family. My wife, we are there together, and I'm happy we are in the same, and in Zovu. Yeah, we meet often. Yeah, so we are now giving back to society. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, I think this session was extremely important because it is the main session of our experiences and narrating our experiences in different places. Now, there were other speeches, but we shall only make a summary. I was to make a one-page speech, but it's just a summary. Because I'm talking about Mark's Cherangani Alumni Association, the introduction part of it, the importance of the association, I have stated it there. I'll post this speech in the wall so that I don't have to read to you. You read it when you have your time. I have put there the registration of the association. We registered the association in 2010. And the gentleman here, that is Stuma Ocheng Boyo. Yes, Boyo was there. Myself, and who else? Yeah, these are the gentlemen. Yes, this everything is there. These are the gentlemen who worked on that at the Attorney General's office. This is a legal document. We have also the Constitution, by the way, and we send the Constitution in the world. We want you now to ratify the Constitution because we didn't have people to ask to ratify. Now that you are here, can we ratify the Constitution as it is or with amendments? Please, can we ratify the Constitution as it is or with amendments?
To make it legal, we need a proposer and a seconder.
We need a proposer and a seconder. You propose. Wilson Godo has proposed. Seconder? Bose Alfred has seconded. So can we clap ourselves for ratifying the Constitution? We also had the interim leaders that were selected that time,
And we have mentioned them. Those ones who did the business of the registration, we need now to ratify them, because nobody really elected us. We kind of just nominated ourselves, but we have the job done. So can we now ratify that leadership from the beginning? A proposer? Gladys is our proposer. Seconder? John Mongai has seconded. I hope there's somebody writing the minutes.
Yes, I'm doing.
Yes, that's very important. Now, the other component of the leadership that is there, we shall discuss with you, because age is also catching up. Some of us, the leaders who have been there for some time, we have done our bit. We would like you to know what is it we are going to do. We shall hear from you, so that we have a leadership that is continuous. There are those ones who planted, there are those ones who will be weeding, eventually there are those ones who will be harvesting. That is an aspect that will put the ball back to you again. Yeah, we have done the job. Those ones who did it, original about 20K. So that we would still ask in one way or the way for support. But what we have done is massive, it's great, and what we are going to experience is still there. So that is what we have as a deficient factor. We also made sure that we record this event. And the recording of this event was costing about 13,000 at a very fair price. Yeah. So those are the extra costings, including the workers who are with us here, the caterers. We said normally when they come to serve somewhere, you leave something small for them. That aspect, if they're enabled, that will help us a great deal. Wow. Oh, good news has come here from Honorable Bissau. Just as we are saying that there's a deficiency, Honorable Bissau has given us 10,000. So God has heard our prayers to that extent. And I know that He's still going to hear our prayers for the remaining part. So thank you very much. Can you send our greetings to our alumni friend, Honorable Bissau, and tell us, he will tell us his vision for the next cycle of elections. I think that's very important. So the question of subscription, we leave to you to make a decision. Do we continue with the same amount? What's your own view? And that will be important for us. So I think I don't want to make my speech long. Just that is enough as summary. Yes, Professor.
Sorry to interrupt the chair. When you are requesting members to ratify this, I try to look at it quickly, because I noticed that it is a zero draft. And I had some members asking whether they have read or not. So we just ratified without, but which is okay, except I think there should be room for amendments. Because I can see, I give you a very good example. We have had very good history here from Dr. Tanui. This motto of knowledge is power, and yet we have ever busy, ever happy. Why would we want to lose that? You know, I'm just asking. So at least it's something that we should think over and see whether we should include it. That's what I just wanted to say.
The secretary has taken note.
Yes.
Yes.
Amendments are open. It's ratified. It is zero draft. We wanted you to remove the zero. Once you have removed the zero, it's a draft. And then we can amend. Okay? So amendment is open. We set the document in the wall. You can read it at your own time. And you can, through the wall, send your suggestions in terms of modifications. Thank you very much, Prof. Yes, some other discussions regarding particular subscription. Does it remain the same? Can we hear a different voice? because we want a stronger union.
Alumni hoy. Don't you think the 200 shillings is too low? It is. I propose the figure to be a little bit higher. We are all seniors. Why can't you make it to 1,000?
Chairman,
My proposal.
I just wanted to clarify something based on his proposal.
Yes.
You should just wait there.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I wish to clarify that from our constitution, the way we put it,
as the status, we are having the 200 shillings as registration fees. You use the 200 shillings to register yourself as a member of the alumni. And then you are having an annual subscription of 500 shillings. So we are having two fees here to be paid. The 200 shillings for registration, and then there's an annual subscription of 500 shillings. So when we are looking at them, we look at the subscription fee and then the registration fee.
Okay, Ocheng has clarified that. He has been the secretary that the membership is 200, and then every year we pay 500.
Continue the same.
We continue the same, 200 and 500.
Yes.
Isn't it too low? Registration. Registration. On the side of registration, 200.
It's okay.
So registration 200 and the annual fee 500. Is that agreeable? Raise up your hands if you agree to that. I will take note of that, Secretary. Yeah. Oh yeah, sir. Yeah, a proposer. Who proposes that 200 is membership and 500 annual fee? Identify your, yes? Bishop Kimayo is proposing. Who is seconding? Sirare is seconding. Thank you very much. That is done. Do you have anything else to ratify? Yeah?
Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
just continue while I give you that.
Yes. Ocheng is preparing something. Ocheng has been keeping our documents.
Maybe as he looks at that,
Yeah.
the welfare part is what you can now put.
Yes, the welfare. Oh yes, welfare. Okay, part of the thing that I had written to tell you, but I also posted on the wall, is the fact the alumni, part of the strength, we have visited a good number of our teachers, including the Wachis, Mr. and Mrs., including Kemenia, Wabore, we visit Cheruyot, Rotich, Siwa, and every time we went there, we brought a gift, not less than 20,000. Yes, we brought a gift to them. No, even the Wachias, we gave them something, each as a teacher. So, and then there is also welfare. Whenever somebody is bereaved among us, that is something that we want to draw to you. In terms of what you say, we have been doing a lot in terms of membership that have been contributing and participating. If we have been contributing and participating, you always find our hands to help you up. Can we hear some comments from members regarding the same? You're saying yes?
No, I'm saying it's okay. The
Oh.
discussions will be there on welfare.
Yeah.
Now that it's centralized.
Yes, can you hear a voice from members regarding the same, because it's an important factor that affects us.
Yeah.
My take is that actually we have done well by visiting all these our teachers, but I would propose that we stop visiting teachers and we visit our own ourselves, because we have like the pioneers and they are getting older. Please let us now concentrate on ourselves. That is my take on members.
That is an opinion of Gladys, and an opinion can never be wrong, can it? Yeah.
Chair, where I came from, your teachers are also supposed to be your alumni in the alumni. So can we perhaps invite them to be members of the alumni, so that what we do all of us together.
Prof, thank you very much. In our constitution, I think that is stated very clearly that the teachers are associate members of the alumni. Since we had not met like this way we are meeting now, in such a big number, we had not established those variables. And I think it is a good component. We cannot really totally exclude them. But the way Gladys has said is that we focus on ourselves now. Are there some people of the same opinion? But we cannot block. Let us leave the door open for the teachers, and let us also focus on ourselves to be able to solidify our own support moving forward. Is that okay? Any other different opinion in the same? Yeah, so we accept that we continue to strengthen our own union in terms of alumni, in terms of supporting each other. And secondly, we open the door for our teachers whenever necessary. Yeah, thank you very much. I think that is the decision. Do we need to ratify that?
No, that's a proposal that we must better with but we put in something.
It's a proposal.
It's a proposal that we'll work on and bring back to the members.
Yeah.
But lastly now, Chair.
Yeah.
You remember now when we were to go to school and there is a reason we didn't go.
Yeah.
Maybe what can we do in school besides the administration block?
Yes, you're right, you're right. Part of our strength is to put up the administration block in the school. I think I sent the pictures of the administration block in the wall. They're there. And there was Governor Tonai of Narok, who is an alumni, led a Harambee in Jubilee, in the 50th Jubilee, Golden Jubilee, and some of us were there. We contributed some money. That money helped to start off the administration block. So it is there. It's part of what we have done, part of our strength. That being part of our